two bills will each cover 45 days of service. The next bills will arrive on their normal schedule. This is from the city of Artesia. Do you know a young leader making a difference in our community? Nominate them for the Carlsbad 40 Under 40 Awards. There is a $40 registration fee. Deadline to register is Friday, August 29th. Call the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce at 575-887-6516 with your nominations. To have your event listed on the KSVP community calendar, email calendar@ksvpradio.com. Please let us know at least 1 week in advance.
This is KSVP and K229 AS Artesia.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. A top presidential aide calls it a massive scandal in Washington, D.C. And when all the details are out, Stephen Miller says we'll be stunned.
Even though D.C. had the worst crime in America, honestly measured, it dramatically understated how bad it was. There's even accusations that murders and homicides were reported as accidents instead of murders.
He says the Justice Department's investigating will share the results of that inquiry. The president's crime crackdown is having a positive impact. Then 12 days without a single murder in D.C. and carjackings, once commonplace, have dropped sharply. The president talking about federal intervention in some other big cities, including Baltimore, Chicago, and New York. But Illinois' Democrat governor is warning the president, hands off Chicago. President Trump taking his fight with the Federal Reserve to the next level, although this time it's not about the question of lowering interest rates, something that Mr. Trump has been demanding of the Fed.
In an unprecedented move, the president said he's firing one of the Fed's governors. He posted a letter to Lisa Cook saying he is removing her because of allegations that she committed mortgage fraud. The attempt to dismiss a Fed governor is likely to touch off an extensive legal battle that will probably go to the Supreme Court.
White House correspondent Craig Pugston. From the air and on the ground, the battle against the picket fire in California's Napa County goes on. Around 7,000 acres have been burned, evacuation orders issued, and the cherished and economically important vineyards of California's wine country are under threat. A couple of tropical storms, one in the Atlantic, the other in the Pacific, are gaining strength, but no watches or warnings have been posted. On Wall Street, Dow futures are down 43 points. The Nasdaq futures off 24. S&P futures down 5 points ahead of this morning's opening bell. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Dennis Prager here for AmFed Coin and Bullion. I've always been a strong believer in precious metals investment, and I've always been fascinated with rare coin collecting. But owning the wrong coins that only make dealers a lot of money can be catastrophic for your investment portfolio. AmFed Coin and Bullion specializes in taking people out of non-performing coin portfolios and turning them into gold, silver, or platinum bullion. They tailor a portfolio based on your goals and not what they want to sell you. You'll never experience scare tactics, misleading hype, or high-pressure sales from owner Nick Grovich and his very knowledgeable staff. They will evaluate your portfolio, show you how your coins have performed, and take the time to educate you on the ugly industry practices so that you can make an informed decision. Smart people can make very bad investments when they're under pressure and lack the facts. Call 800-221-7694. That's 800-221-7694. AmericanFederal.com.
Protesters in Israel have slashed tires and blocked highways, demanding a ceasefire to free the hostages in Gaza. This comes as Israeli leaders push for an offensive against Hamas. Today's demonstration follows deadly strikes on Gaza's main hospital that killed 20 people, including medics and journalists. Prime Minister Netanyahu expected to meet his cabinet later in the day, and relatives of the hostages are hoping that steady pressure can push the government into committing to ceasefire talks. Opposition figures in Uganda have criticized a deal with the U.S. to accept deported migrants. They question the lack of parliamentary approval and suggest it's aimed at easing political pressure on the country's president. Ugandan officials have shared few details, but have said they prefer deportees of African origin without criminal records. Still, the U.S. is processing Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Salvadoran national, for deportation to Uganda. News and analysis, townhall.com. Elon Musk is suing OpenAI and Apple, alleging anti-competitive conduct.
The complaint follows through on a threat Musk made when he accused Apple of unfairly favoring OpenAI and ChatGPT in the iPhone's App Store rankings for top AI apps. Musk's new lawsuit details a litany of grievances in an attempt to win monetary damages and a court order prohibiting the alleged illegal tactics. Some of the allegations echo an antitrust lawsuit filed against Apple last year by the U.S. Department of Justice. OpenAI has countered with a lawsuit against Musk, accusing Musk of ongoing harassment. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
President Trump's directing the Justice Department to prosecute people for igniting civil unrest by burning the American flag. The president argues that flag burning, when it incites violence, deserves a 1-year jail term. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Today's KSVIP is Sierra Gomez. Sierra is celebrating a birthday. Birthday blessing to our beautiful shining star. We love you and pray that your day brings you as much joy as we feel when we hear you sing. And this is from your family. Today, Sierra, you're going to receive a flower from Nell's Floral and KSVP. Today's KSVIP, Sierra Gomez.
All right, good morning, Artesia. It is Tuesday, August 26th. I'm your host, Scott Pettis. So glad to be back on the air with you guys. Hey, we got a good show today. We got, in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll be hearing from the Chamber. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to be hearing from the from an organization that's putting on an event tonight called Protect Prosperity and Defend Taxpayers. And so Americans for Prosperity, I think it's going to be a good event. And so we'll hear from them, and of course we'll talk to Aaron in the 9 o'clock hour as well. Before we jump into all of that, though, let's jump into the scriptures. Today I went to Matthew 22, beginning with verse 34. Matthew 22:34. It says, "But when the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together. And one of them, a lawyer, asked him a question to test him. 'Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?' And he said to him, 'You shall love your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all of your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depend all the law and the prophets. I always like to come back to this verse from time to time in my life and remind myself that this is the center of it, right? This is the center of Christianity. This is the center of how God has called us to live. And it's an interesting thing when you start looking at this passage, because we tend to, in a modern way, we like to simplify things. We like to make it as clear as possible, and that's what Christ does for us here. But we tend to miss nuances. We tend to miss what's actually being said here. You see, the Sadducees and the Pharisees were trying to capture Jesus in some way, trying to capture him and saying something that was, what we would call heretical today. They wanted him to somehow say that the law doesn't matter, or they wanted him to pick sides in their argument about which law was the greatest. They wanted him to cause someone to hate him for what he says. But the way he answers them is shrewd. It's so clear what he's doing here when you read it and you understand where his words come from. His words were not new words. His words were repetition of the Old Testament law. In fact, the first law that he gives, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, is Deuteronomy 6. Deuteronomy 6 lays this out. And so it's the precursor to all the law. It's love the Lord your God. And then the second portion, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, comes out of Leviticus 19. And what is he doing here? He's creating a summary of the Ten Commandments, the two tables of the law. The first table being those laws that are focused on God. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall make no idols. You shall not bow down to them. You shall not take the Lord's name in vain. You will, and when you look at this, you think, oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm loving the Lord God with all my heart, and these are the ways in which I do it. And what about the second table of the law? You shall love your neighbor as yourself. You shall not steal. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not covet another man's wife. Oh, okay, well, this makes sense now. When I look at this, what I understand is Jesus wasn't saying these two things are the greatest commandments and just throw the rest out. He was summarizing the entirety of the law. Because by summarizing the Ten Commandments, it takes all the other commandments into account. Everything else in the Old Testament law was based upon those Ten Commandments. What do you do with a thief? Well, that's based on thou shalt not steal. How do you keep the Sabbath holy? Okay, these are all the things. So he was summarizing all the law and looking at them and basically saying, hey, you knuckleheads, it's all of it. It's the entirety of the law. Let me summarize it for you so you understand how it is you are to live. Unfortunately, I think today we look at this and in a desire to figure out how to live in a Christian world, how to function as believers in this world. We take these two statements: love your neighbor and love your and love God, and we want to go, okay, wide open field. We can do that however we want. We forget to talk about, well, how do I love God? How do I love my neighbor? Well, I do it by looking to the Scriptures, because the Scriptures tell me exactly how I'm to love my neighbor and how I'm to love God. I'm not to have any other gods before Him, first and foremost. I can't put anything in my life, I can't put anything in this world above Him. He's the one I have to look to. And then, in doing that, then I can love my neighbor because I live according to His law, and I don't walk in my own way. I don't seek after my own selfish gain. I don't seek after my own opinions. And then I love my neighbor by telling him, you need to love God. You need to walk by this. You need to understand that your life is caught up in Christ. Your life is caught up in all of this. And so I love to always go back to that and remind myself that, look, we're not under the law for salvation. We're under the gospel because God has given us so much grace, because his son did come, it did die on the cross, and he did save me from my sins. Then I'm now free to live according to the way he's told me. I no longer have to seek after figuring out life myself. He's a good father. He's given me my rules. He's given me my direction. He's given me the perfect way to conduct myself in this life. And so that's what my encouragement, Artesia, today. Turn to your scriptures. If you're struggling with how is it that I am to live today, how am I to live to honor God, turn to his word and ask him, because he will reveal it to you. He will make it clear. The Spirit will show you in his word how it is that you're to live your life. Don't fight it. Don't push back against it. That's the heart of faith. The faith is, if I obey my Father, then I know I'm doing what he told me to do. Then that's how I'm supposed to live. I don't have to figure out anything else. I don't have to solve the problems myself, because he's given me the direction in which to walk. All right, Artesia, thanks for listening to me. Let's jump into it. Let's go ahead and check our weather, and when we come back, we'll check our calendars.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. The monsoon is picking up a little bit, and we may start to see some showers and thunderstorms coming back on Wednesday, but for now we'll stay sunny. Afternoon highs 90 to 95. Overnight, just a slim chance of a shower. We're in the upper 60s, and then sunny most of Wednesday. We can't rule out an afternoon thunderstorm, though. Our high should be in the low 90s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
All right, welcome back, Artesia. Hey, look at those temperatures, man. Nice mild day out there. Hobbs, 89. Roswell, 92. Carlsbad, 94. And Artesia, a 93. Lows getting down into the 60s at night. We're kind of slowly making our way out of summer into fall. Nice days. Let's see what the 10 days says, what we're looking at. About the same. It is going to pick up a little bit on Thursday, be back up to 98. Friday back down to 91. What are we looking at for the football game? Kind of hard to tell for hourly on Friday, but isolated showers on Friday, and yeah, well, we might have a little bit of a. It looks like it'll dry out by football time on Friday. That's the most important thing. All right, I'm excited. I don't know how about you guys. I am excited for the first home football game. Man, it's going to be a great time, and congratulations to our young men last Friday night with the victory over Carlsbad. So that's awesome. Hey, let's see what they're having for lunch over at the schools. For breakfast first, ham and cheese croissant. Lunch, chicken fajitas, tortilla, pinto beans, and diced pears. Taco Tuesday. What about the senior center? They're having enchiladas with pinto beans, Spanish rice, and some strawberry ice cream. Senior Center today has no special events going on, but they got their normal Tuesday stuff happening. Exercise video at 8:15, hand, knee, and foot at 9, line dancing at 9:30, poker today at 2 o'clock, so don't forget that. Don't forget library. Their programming for the kids and teens is going to resume on September 8th. And who's got birthdays today? Today being August 26th. Happy birthday to Maria Dominguez, Mary Garcia, Irene Fuentes, Cefaria Lavario. Happy birthday to all of you.
Artesia, get ready. The Protect Prosperity Defend Taxpayers statewide tour is coming to town. Join us Tuesday, August 26th, 5:30 p.m. at Spark by Hilton in Artesia. Hear from special guest speakers Jim Townsend, Rod Montoya, and Jonathan Henry as they share their vision to protect prosperity and stand up for taxpayers. And don't miss out, a special giveaway awaits one lucky early bird registrant. Tuesday, August 26th, 5:30 p.m. at Spark by Hilton in Artesia. Presented by AFP New Mexico and the Libre Initiative.
Artesia Clean and Beautiful is pleased to announce that the traveling dumpsters are back. August 25th through September 7th, they will be setting at the corner of 10th and Memorial Drive just east of the hospital. Now's the time to clean up that garage, storage, or yard. Trash your trash with Artesia Clean and Beautiful. No hazardous waste or tires. Call 575-513-0143 for more information. This message brought to you by H.F. Sinclair Navajo Refining.
Hi Artesia, Cambria here from your local KFC and Taco Bell. And boy, do I have some amazing Tuesday deals for you. If you're grabbing a quick bite for yourself, you gotta try our country fried steak meal. This includes our delicious home-style country fried steak patty served with mashed potatoes and white gravy, creamy coleslaw, and a buttermilk biscuit, all just for $4.99. Looking to feed the whole fam? We got you covered. Try our $20 meal deal. This includes 8 pieces of all dark meat chicken, large mashed potatoes and gravy, a large coleslaw, and 4 buttermilk biscuits. As always, it's great to be a Bulldog, and we hope to see you soon at your local KFC and Taco Bell.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,472 head of cattle sold on Monday on a higher market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week. Stocker calves unweaned sold steady. Weaned calves $10 higher. Feeder cattle $3 to $5 higher. Packer cows and bulls $5 to $8 higher. 3 to 400 pound steers $5.50 to $6.30. 3 to 400 pound heifers $5, $5.65. 4 to 500 pound steers $4.85, $5.50. 4 to 500 pound heifers $4.32, $5. 5 to 600 pound steers $3.97, $4.85. 5 to 600 pound heifers $4, $4.32. 6 700 pound steers $3.77, $3.97. 6 700 pound heifers $3.64, $4. 7 800 pound steers $3.60, $3.77. 7 800 pound heifers $3.07, $3.64. Packer cows $1.77 to $1.90. Canner and cutter cows $1.68, $1.75. Packer bulls $2, $2.12. Feeder bulls $1.80, $1.87. Top half the cow calf pairs $3,200 to $3,750 per pair. And the bred cows not well tested this week. Next week's sale will be held on Tuesday in observance of Labor Day Monday. We do appreciate the business, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
All right, welcome back, Artesia. Hey, let's jump into our pile of announcements and events and stuff going on. You heard in the commercial break, traveling dumpsters are still out around town, so you can take big trash items, go to put them in those big dumpsters, and Artesia Clean and Beautiful is going to have those hauled off. So the dumpster moved yesterday. It's now at the corner of 10th and Memorial Drive. So that's on the 10th side street of the Artesia General Hospital over there. So if you want to take some stuff and go throw it in there, that's where you'll find it. All right. So today, or I guess it was yesterday. Oh man, I missed it. So yep, we'll pass on that. All the tickets for the reserve seats for football are now sold out. So all right, if you want to get some bulldog paws painted, we've got brand new ones out in front of the studio. I walked in this morning and our bulldog paws are out there. The cheerleaders are doing that as a fundraiser. You can reach out to a cheerleader or find them on Facebook there and reach out to them, and they will come paint bulldog paws in front of your business or your driveway or your sidewalk at the house in order for you to show your support for our bulldog teams. See, utility billing update. Don't forget your next 2 bills from the utility department at the Artesia City. So your water bills are going to cover 45 days of service. So don't be surprised if they're a little bit higher than normal. Artesia resident Steve Perez is going through a heart transplant procedure. He's asking for the community to help cover travel and hotel expenses. If you'd like to donate to that medical fund, you can go down to First American Bank in Artesia and tell them you'd like to donate to the Steve and Yolanda Perez Medical Fund. All right, blood drive. Where we got blood drives? Last one on the list. Tomorrow, Wednesday, August 27th in Hagerman at the Hagerman High School in the Commons area from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Don't forget, you can go give blood, get a $10 gift card, and get entered for a chance to win a $10,000 gift card. This Friday, August 29th, will be the deadline for the Carlsbad Under 40 nominations. If you know a young leader making a difference in their career and community, you can nominate them for the Carlsbad Under 40. Call the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce at 575-887-6516. September 5th and 6th is the Dragonfly Festival. That's going to be out at the Bitter Lake National Wildlife Refuge. All kinds of stuff going on. Dragonfly programs, tours, wildlife tours, and free family fun. If you'd like information or reservations, you can call 575-244-6256. September 11th through 13th is going to be the Red Dirt Black Gold Music Festival, held here in Artesia. 3 nights. It's going to be a big event. It's going to be a lot of fun. All the vendors and stuff downtown, music, food, and just a whole lot of fun that week, as we've got all of the visitors in town from the National Championship air races. A lot going on there. And don't forget, I'll add in on here, hey, if you've ever wanted to go skydiving, if you've ever wanted to jump out of a plane, we've got that opportunity for you. You can go to Skydive New Mexico online. Just go Google Skydive New Mexico. It'll take you to their website, and on there, there's going to be a booking button down there, and it'll say National Championship Air Races special event. And you go down there, you click on it, you can book yourself a skydive right here in Artesia. $330, I believe, right now is the price on that, and so we invite you to come out and go skydiving with us and have a whole lot of fun. Don't forget, the Artesia High School Homecoming Parade is coming up next month. Homecoming is on Friday, September 26th. Parade begins at 4 o'clock. If you would like to enter that parade, all you've got to do is reach out to Jennifer Humble or Ashley Mason at 575-746-9816. You've got till September 18th to get your entries in, and they're going to be having it'll be a good parade this year. So, all right. Artesia High School class of 1965 is holding their 60th class reunion on homecoming weekend, so Friday, September 26th, and Saturday, September 27th. If you'd like more information, contact Vicki at 575-308-9464 or Connie at 575-748-5206. Our Lady of Grace would like to tell you about their Fall Fiesta and 5K happening September 20th and 21st at the Guadalupe Park. It's going to be live music, great food, games, and fun for the whole family. The Artesia General Hospital, in association with the American Heart Association, will be holding their glow-in-the-dark Heart Walk and 5K Saturday, September 20th. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. from Artesia General Hospital. If you'd like to check that out, I think you can go to the Artesia General Hospital website, but also you can call 575-736-8280. All right. Well, not a whole lot. I guess, beginning the school year, a lot going on. Everybody's getting settled into the school year here in the month of August and the first couple of weeks of September. Everybody's kind of taking it easy with events and stuff. So, but I know there's a lot coming up this fall, and so we're looking forward to all that. But hey, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about what's going on around the state of New Mexico.
With your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Sorello. A shooting early Monday leaves a 31-year-old man dead in North Roswell. RPD says officers responded just before 7 in the morning to the area of North Sherman Avenue and 23rd Street. After multiple gunshots were heard, the victim then knocked on someone's door in the 2300 block of North Sherman. The residents drove the man to the hospital, but he later died. The victim is identified as Darren Estephan Johnson, and the gunman is believed to have fled in a car, which was later located by police. However, no suspect information or motive is known. Minute with the Mayor returns today in Artesia. Mayor John Henry will be available for questions about anything going on in Artesia. Stop by Kith and Ken from 8:30 to 9:30 this morning. Minute with the Mayor happens every second and fourth Tuesday of each month at 105 North 5th Street in Artesia. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Here's a song for Lowell's Pharmacy, and when it's over, I'll explain why we're called the Family Pharmacy.
You and your family getting all the things you need, where personal service is always guaranteed. Prescriptions fill faster with dependability. That is why we're called the Family Pharmacy.
At Lowell's Pharmacy, we are called the Family Pharmacy. Let me spell it out for you. The F stands for fair prices and everything. The A is for accurate prescription service. M for the many professional services we provide. The I is for immediate service. L for the luxury of getting everything you need in just one place. And the Y is for you.
And that is why we're called the Family Pharmacy.
Lowell's Pharmacy, 612 North 13th, across from the hospital in the Artesia Professional Building. Lowell's Pharmacy.
It's time for the Eddy County Sports Report. We got a good boys soccer match going on today. Artesia playing at Roswell starts at 6 o'clock. You might not know this, but Artesia has been piling up the goals over their last couple of matches. Thursday night last week defeated West Las Vegas 8-0. Senior Damian Lopez 2 goals and 2 assists. And then on Saturday, Artesia trounced Moriarty 9-0. Moses Corza, senior, with 3 goals, 2 assists. And Anton Wodars, 2 goals and 2 assists for the Bulldogs. Game time tonight in Roswell, 6 o'clock. Roswell is 2-0. Meanwhile, Carlsbad struggling out of the gate, losing a pair on the road this past weekend at Mayfield, 6-1 on Friday, and then falling to Centennial on Saturday, 5-1. Their next match this coming Friday, 10 a.m. tournament game against Gadsden. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at KSVP Radio AM 990.
Head to LinkedIn, Facebook, or really anywhere online, and you'll see a whole new world of language popping up centered around artificial intelligence. Terms that didn't exist even a year ago are everywhere today. I'm Kim Commando for Total AV, award-winning antivirus software for just $19 for the first year right now at protectwithkim.com. Let's catch up on the lingo. Your first AI term to learn? AI washing. That's when a company hypes a feature as AI-powered, but in reality, there's barely any AI at all. Pure marketing. Then there's clanker, borrowed from Star Wars. It's used when an AI bot just makes things harder than they should be, or just flat out gets it wrong. Not again, you clanker. Your final word is slop. That's what people call the flood of low-effort AI junk online. Rambling blog posts, spammy ebooks, or those weirdly generic Etsy images. So that's your crash course on AI slang. Consider yourself officially tech ahead right now. And keep the know-how going with my free newsletter. Sign up at getkim.com. Cybercrime is on the rise, and hackers are getting smarter every day. From phishing scams to ransomware attacks, criminals are after your devices and your money. So how do you fight back? One of the best defenses is solid antivirus software. Blocks suspicious websites and stops hackers before they can do any damage. A healthy dose of skepticism when opening emails or clicking links doesn't hurt either. But for the antivirus help you need, I trust and recommend Total AV. They update you in real time, keeping you protected from the latest threats. Go to protectwithkim.com now and get Total AV for just $19 for the first year. It covers up to 5 devices, including Windows, Macs, and smartphones. That's protectwithkim.com. Don't wait until it's too late. Your security matters. Get protected now. Go to protectwithkim.com for my exclusive deal with Total AV. Just $19 for the first year. That's protectwithkim.com. Protectwithkim.com. Protectwithkim.com.
Turpin & Son Mortuary of Artesia presents a listing of today's obituaries. We have one new obituary for Diane Smith. Diane was born December 13th, 1945 in Monahans, Texas, to Don and Dorothy Weaver. She was the oldest of three. They moved to Artesia in 1963 from Kermit, Texas. She graduated from Artesia High School in 1964. She met James Smith and they were married May 6, 1966 in Artesia, where they started their beautiful life together. Her and James bought Artesia Plumbing and Heating and owned it for 56 years before retiring. Diane was survived by her husband, James Smith, children, James Smith Jr., Barbara Hytron and Jamie, and Kathy Smith, grandchildren, Erica Riley, Jessica Comerick and Tim, Marley Fry and Austin, Sabrina, Davian, and Sienna Ochoa, great-grandchildren, Alexis and Jace Murillo, River, Raiden, and Winter Comerick, Miley Perdoza, Ryan, and Alex Castellanos, Dale and Donna Lehman. She was preceded in death by her parents and brother David Weaver. She was a blessing to us all and will be forever in our hearts. Services will be announced at a later date. This listing has been presented as a service by Turpin & Son Mortuary of Artesia. We make it personal.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. The monsoon is picking up a little bit, and we may start to see some showers and thunderstorms coming back on Wednesday, but for now we'll stay sunny. Afternoon highs 90 to 95. Overnight, just a slim chance of a shower. We're in the upper 60s, and then sunny most of Wednesday. We can't rule out an afternoon thunderstorm, though. Our high should be in the low 90s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
All right, welcome back, Artesia. Hey, Jeff's going to come in here and join us in just a minute, but I realize there's a couple of flyers on my desk here that I missed. The first one is Artesia Senior Center is going to be closed on Monday, September 1st, in observance of Labor Day. So just know that if you're a regular user of the Senior Center, they're going to be closed on Labor Day. The AHS Choir Boosters is holding a tailgate. Tickets are $10, and it's going to be at the first home game, so this Friday night, the 29th, and it'll include a pulled pork sandwich, chips, drinks, and dessert. Pickup is a drive-through at the admin horseshoe parking lot. Even if you don't even have to get out of your car, it says. All proceeds are going to go right back to the students, which is especially important this year since they will be traveling to Nashville and Memphis in May. So help out our Artesia Choir Boosters this Friday night. Go grab you a pulled pork sandwich for the tailgate before the game. Hey, today is the filing deadline for if you want to run one of the local elections. So openings or spots that are up for election this year. The Artesia Public School Board, 3 school board positions, District 1, 2, and 4. And then, let's see, Carlsbad, Loving Artesia. Trying to see, there was one more in Artesia. Oh, there's 2 district board member positions, District 4 and 5, that are up for elections this year. So if you want to get in and make a difference in your community, you can go down today to, let's see, you go down and you can file for candidacy today, Tuesday, August 26th, at the Eddy County offices. So, all right, that's all I've got on that. Hey, so I was perusing the news this morning for the New Mexico, and lo and behold, of course, I run into a story on. Yeah, I run into a story on MLG, our governor. I think I said this a couple weeks ago, right? She had activated the National Guard to go do some to deal with drugs and stuff up in I believe it was Espanola. I hope I got that right. That may not be the right town, but I believe that was. And I said it was the same time that Trump had activated the National Guard to take care of crime in Washington D.C. And I said, watch, she's got. It won't be long before she's turned around and she's lambasting Trump about utilizing the National Guard for law enforcement stuff. And lo and behold, so Trump makes his announcement, I think it was last Thursday or Friday, he makes the announcement that he's activating National Guard across 19 states or something, and he's activating National Guard here in New Mexico, 1,700 troops to go down to the border to stop. I forgot to turn on your microphone.
You just wanted me to sit in here for my face.
Yeah, just give me someone to talk to. You don't have to talk, Jeff, but Jeff's with us. But he's activating 1,700 troops to go down and help the Border Patrol, right? So they're going to, and what does the Border Patrol do? It's not just about immigrants coming across. It's the drugs. It's everything else that's coming across the border. And she's having a fit, of course.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. We won't stand for this. We're not going to put up with this. On and on and on. And I honestly, I can be double-minded from time to time. All of us can. All of us have that propensity where we can fall into double-mindedness, thinking our position is so right that we don't even see our own flaws in our own arguments. But they've made a profession of it.
Yeah.
In psychological speech, it's called cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
I mean, but she has pushed it to the point, and it makes no sense. Why not? Why not be glad that, hey, look, he's going to shut off the drug flow into this state, at least at that one particular spot, at 180 miles of border, I think, that we have with Mexico. And so I just laugh at it all because at this point you kind of have to laugh, not to lose your mind. But I can't grasp it. I don't know. Do you get where do people get in their head that you can say you can be doing the exact same thing and say, well, it's wrong for someone else to do it?
I think that is a key component of being a successful politician.
We might have some politicians coming on here in the.
Oh yeah. No, it's okay. They know my view on some of their cohorts up there in the roundhouse.
I think their view on their cohorts up there in the roundhouse.
we share them.
Yeah, it's bothersome though, because all it does is create a situation in which we can never agree, because even if someone comes up with a good idea, if they're on the opposite side of the fence of you, their immediate reaction is, well, that's wrong. Even if they know it's the right solution, even if they know, hey, that sounds like a good idea, they're going to fight back against it because the opposing side came up with it. That's when it tells you what we have going on, especially within our world of politics, is not about truth.
Right.
It's about power. And I know we've got some great politicians. Our local politician stuff going up there. I've got faith in the fact that they're going up for the right reasons. They're doing trying their best to do the right things. But as a whole, the political system that we now battle within is it's all about political expediency. It's about remaining in power. And one of the things that pointed that out to me is, did you hear the announcement, I guess yesterday, that Trump's going to approve 600,000 educational visas for Chinese students?
Oh, really?
Okay, where did that come from? Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of...
I'm like, doesn't that just go against everything you've been saying up to this point? I thought the whole thing was we were going to drive out adversarial nations, not...
Right.
Yeah.
We already had, the teacher and the other one on a student visa that were messing with biological weapons in, was it Michigan? And they'd been in trouble for bringing that stuff in before, and then they still do, to work on it in the lab. And you have this other portion of the people that are trying to figure out how to keep China from purchasing all of our farmland and all of our land. But yet here, come on over and get our education. Okay.
Well, but here's the other part of that. We know that China is an adversarial country. Okay. Let's say out of the 600,000, let's be super generous. Out of the 600,000, 99% of them are just people looking for good jobs and a good education. Well, what does that leave you? 6,000 agents that you're allowing into the country under the guise of education that are here to cause us harm. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I think one of the issues with a lot of the drama that's been going on in our country the past couple of years, I think one way that would have solved or changed 90% of people's minds was if they'd spent time overseas. If they'd spent time in other countries, if you'd spent time in these places, that you'd understand why we have borders, why we are our own. We don't just... Well, you can't expect to bring 100,000 people from a different culture and expect them not to do what they've been doing. That's their culture. They're bringing it in here, and they're trying to create that culture here in America.
Well, so that comes down to a kind of a fundamental question that currently exists that I think a lot of people may overlook is America an actual sovereign nation with its own culture and people and everything else, or is it just merely an ideal?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, the people who look at the country as just an ideal then say, well, culture doesn't matter. Any culture can be brought in to the American ideal nation, that we're not a nation of a people. We're not a and I've made this point over and over. I think part of our problem is this is, so in here in America, and I don't know in other countries if they do this or not. I doubt they do. But here you have to, when you fill out a form, you know, you've got 30 check boxes to choose from of what your ethnicity and nationality and all this stuff is. Well, I've done research. My family's, you know, different legs of my family have been here since the 1600s.
Right.
I'm dependent of people here. We're here, you know, 350 years ago. I'm pretty sure I'm just American.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I can trace family back to Ireland and Scotland and England and all of that. Great. I'm not Irish. I'm not Scottish. I'm not English. I'm just American. I'm plain vanilla American, right? And I go, why is it that we still hold on to that, though? Why is it? It's because we've been allowed to be told, and I would probably say for the past 75 to 100 years, that there is no real American culture. There is no American. Americanism is just an ideal. It's not a people. It's not a culture. It's not. It's just a physical holding place for the rest of the world. And when you hold to that kind of precept, what ends up happening is then there's nothing for people to hold on to. There's no like, hey, I'm part of this.
Right.
So if everybody's a part of something else, you know, we're all this heritage, we're this heritage, this heritage, this heritage. There is no concept of a heritage American. And hear me clearly on this. Heritage American doesn't apply to your skin color or even how long your family's been here. It's, have you come and become part of what the American culture has been built into over 250 some odd years. We're really over 300 years, because we go back before the founding of the nation. I mean, this was a country that was coming together and glomming together and built on ideals of hard work and private property and, you know, Christian ideals of what a society should look like. And so I look at it and go, you're right. If we import every culture within the world into here and say that all cultures are equally good, then there is no culture in America, and you're destining yourself for centuries of conflict.
Which is with our democracy, constitutional republic.
Yeah.
But you're now from the importation. What is that? Minnesota. You're looking at, I think it's Minnesota that is seriously they are trying to move to Sharia law.
Sharia law, yeah.
And and you see people that are all for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, do you know what that means?
Yeah, people are clueless. They lay everything. They're willing to lay their entire lives at the foot of multiculturalism. The concept of multiculturalism, which does not work. You know, and if people think I'm being harsh or sounding harsh here, I'm sorry. But if I went, like you said, people who've traveled around the world. When I went to Japan, you know, there's a Japanese culture, a Japanese people, a Japanese way of living, and you're expected to meld into it the best you possibly can.
Oh yeah.
You know, they make concessions. You know, a lot of stuff's in English, especially around, you know, the centers of the military bases and stuff. They make it easy for us to function in their society.
And even throughout northern Japan, not just Tokyo. I mean, you know, Tokyo was a lot like
well, it's very touristy, so you know they're going to make it as easy as they can for people coming there. Yeah,
it's like walking around a bigger Chicago, but culturally, littering. There is not a littering problem in Japan because it is culturally wrong, and there are no trash cans anywhere. And it was like, we're looking around. They're like, no, you put it in your pocket and you get them. Like, what? And then you realize, oh, no, this is why there is no trash anywhere. And it's not like even here or Chicago, there's a trash can on every corner.
Yeah.
Or there's no trash cans.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows you take this home, put it in the recycle bin, the proper recycle.
Yeah.
And that's a cultural deal.
Yeah, and I think America. What's amazing about America is we can adapt the best of other cultures and bring them in. You know, there is quintessential American food, but we're really good at bringing in the foods from all other cultures. We take the best. We can take the best of other cultures and make it part of the American culture. But to create a land where people can come in and not assimilate into our culture whatsoever is problematic, because all it does is cause conflict. If their way of seeing things, you mentioned Sharia law, right? You know, that has implications of behaviors and actions that we would not condone and are not legal within our system.
Right.
But if you stand up against those behaviors and actions, well, then you're called a bigot. You're called all kinds of names. You're called racist and all of these things. But it makes little sense to say that we live in a nation that has no culture of its own, because we do. We, you know, is 200 some odd years of melting pot. We have a culture, and you know, we need to expect people to come in and be part of it. The early immigrants, that was a given. They knew that they were going to have to meld into the American cultural society, and that they weren't going to be allowed to carve out a little space for themselves to function and bring their ideals with them. No, you have to live by the American ideals.
Yeah, and that, I think, research. We have all the information we can need. We can look it up. We can find. We can do research. But when people are supporting and pushing for things like Sharia law, and it's like, okay, do you not realize that under that you'd be killed? You're not considered a human being.
Yeah.
But you want this law, which would in essence kill you.
Yeah. When you brought that up a moment ago, there is a town in Michigan, and I wanted to say it's Detroit, but it may not have been Detroit. It may have been another town that now has its first Muslim mayor and Muslim police chief, and they arrested a young man, 27-year-old man. Your average American man. He made some posts on Facebook regarding that were derogatory towards them in the town. Well, they went and arrested him. So that they've now arrested him. So we're headed the way of, if this continues, if this is allowed to stand, if this is not quashed, we start heading the way of England, where they're at right now. You can't say hardly anything. If you can't stand out, against that stuff in England whatsoever.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's in that my friend Corey, who's a police officer, detective, we were talking about this 15 years ago and the problems that they were having 15 years ago. And now it's just ways like, and one of the things is similar to our immigration problem. They were pulling any refugees in, quote, refugees, and under British law, if you're building a church, the state will pay for it because of the Church of England. They will build your church. And so, as he said, now you have, hundreds of thousands of Muslims coming in. They're getting free home, free housing, free food, free everything, and the state has to build a mosque for them.
Yeah, and the heritage British people are, barely scraping by, barely making ends meet, and they're angry. And it's understandable. Of course, we can delve into. We only got a minute, but we could delve into conspiracy theories about who's driving this mass immigration, who's driving this, and who's trying to unseat the West. I mean, that's the honest truth of it. Is to seek to unseat the West and the power it's held within the world for hundreds of years at this point. And there's an interesting video out there, if you go back, watch, from the 60s or 70s, I think it was in the 70s, of a former KGB agent talking about how they've infiltrated American world, and they're unseating basically the Western ideals of life by subversion in the school systems and through education and bringing Marxism to bear through changing people's minds rather than trying to capture and force it upon a nation. So crazy, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So hey, Artesia, thanks for listening to me and Jeff rant on for a little bit. we're
and all the politicians I know are great. Except for John McCain.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Artesia.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
When was the last time a bank asked you if you'd like to keep more of your money? At Artesia Credit Union, you pay yourself by avoiding big bank fees and all the corporate investors that go along with them. Let Artesia Credit Union help you achieve financial happiness. From home and auto loans to a working line of credit or sending your kids to college, membership is open to anyone who calls New Mexico home. Stop by the branch on 5th Street or log on to artesiacu.org. Artesia Credit Union, member NCUA, an equal housing lender.
When was the last time you had some really delicious homemade ice cream? That long, huh? Well, satisfy that craving with Ensemble Tea Treats homemade ice cream, now available at La Fonda Restaurant in downtown Artesia. Ensemble Tea is a local company, so it's good ice cream and you're supporting our community businesses. Come try some homemade Ensemble Tea ice cream today at La Fonda Restaurant in downtown Artesia.
Welcome to Answers with Ken Ham. The account of origins presented in the Genesis is a simple but factual presentation of actual events and provides reliable basis for man's worldview and a framework for scientific investigation into the question of the origin and history of life. Answers with Ken Ham is brought to you by Harvest Fellowship at 2307 West Main in Artesia. Call Pastor Ronnie Williams at 746-6195. Now, today's Answers with Ken Ham.
Young stars in a young universe. This is Ken Ham, CEO of the Ark Encounter and Creation Museum in northern Kentucky. In the Bible, we read that star differs from star in glory. Yes, there's an incredible variety in size, color, and temperature of stars. One type of star is a blue star. Now, these stars burn incredibly brightly and use their fuel quickly. They could last only a few million years at the most. And yet we find them all throughout the universe. Those who believe in millions of years must assume that blue stars are constantly forming, but they've never observed any star forming, and theories of star formation break the laws of physics. You know, the Bible explains blue stars. God created all of the stars just a few thousand years ago.
Learn more about visiting the family-friendly Noah's Ark attraction and the world-class Creation Museum at AnswersRadio.com.
This is KSVP and K229AS Artesia.
How bad was crime in the nation's capital before President Trump's crackdown? The president's deputy chief of staff says it was a whole lot worse than we knew.
We've uncovered, in the process of uncovering, a massive scandal in Washington, D.C. with the doctoring of crime stats. And the Department of Justice, under the Attorney General, is leading the effort to uncover this. But when we ultimately share the results, it will stun you.
Stephen Miller says there are allegations that murders and homicides were reported as accidents instead of murders. It's been 12 days now without a single homicide in D.C., and the president's talking about federal intervention in some other big cities, including Baltimore, Chicago, New York. But Illinois' Democrat governor is warning the president to keep his hands off Chicago. You're fired. President Trump's message for Fed board member Lisa Cook. She's insisting, though, that she's not going anywhere, and her attorney is promising a court fight. The president's special envoy, Keith Kellogg, says officials are, in his words, working very, very hard on efforts to end the war in Ukraine. But a lack of progress in talks is fueling doubts about whether a peace deal could be on the horizon. And the president isn't sure there will be a Putin-Zelensky meeting.
Asked about Putin's failure to commit to a sit-down with Zelensky, Donald Trump said the Russian and Ukrainian presidents don't like each other very much. He said he'll have to intervene if there's no movement.
We'll see what happens over the next week or two, and at that point I'll step in very strongly.
Following recent meetings with Putin and Zelensky separately, the president had hoped for a breakthrough in peace talks. Greg Plugston, Washington.
There is no relief yet from the massive western wildfires, including a blaze that rages in Napa County, California wine country, threatening the vineyards. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 3 points, the Nasdaq 31 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You work hard, you build wisely, your home has become one of your greatest assets. If you're staying put this summer, this might be the perfect time to put that equity to work. Whether it's funding a second home, helping your kids get their start, or simply creating more margin in your financial life, Mike and Brian at Fellowship Home Loans are the only ones I trust to guide you through it. They've done loans for my family. They tailor every loan to fit your goals. Fellowship is a direct lender and operates with your best interest in mind. If you're looking to access your equity through a refi or exploring a HELOC for some cash this summer for a second property, or maybe tackle those updates you've been putting off, start with people you trust, people I trust. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
A tropical storm's deadly landfall in Vietnam brings heavy rains and strong winds.
Tropical storm Kajiki made landfall in Vietnam on Monday afternoon after hitting China's Hainan Island. The storm weakened into a tropical depression over Laos, with heavy rains forecast for Tuesday in Thailand, and people have been warned to be vigilant about possible flooding into Wednesday. Vietnam's state media says 3 people have died since Friday, over a dozen people injured and thousands of houses damaged. The National Weather Service says the typhoon brought torrential rain that's triggered flash floods and landslide alerts. I'm Charles Philadelphia.
Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is accusing Iran of directing at least 2 anti-Semitic attacks in Australia and says the country is cutting off diplomatic relations as a result. Albanese says that Australian intelligence services have connected Iran to arson attacks on a Sydney restaurant and a Melbourne synagogue. News and analysis at townhall.com. Company that installs license plate detecting cameras to aid law enforcement halting cooperation with the feds.
Flock Safety says it paused pilot programs with the Department of Homeland Security aimed at intercepting human traffickers and fentanyl distribution. Illinois Secretary of State office says that an audit found U.S. Customs and Border Protection gained access to Illinois data, violating a 2023 law that restricts sharing data with police investigating immigration. After another incident in June, Flock Safety installed a process that flags words such as immigration on Illinois searches and then rejects those requests. Jason Walker reporting.
In an antitrust lawsuit, Elon Musk is accusing Apple and OpenAI of stifling AI competition. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Today's KSVIP is Sierra Gomez. Sierra is celebrating a birthday. Birthday blessing to our beautiful shining star. We love you and pray that your day brings you as much joy as we feel when we hear you sing. And this is from your family. Today, Sierra, you're going to receive a flower from Nell's Floral and KSVP. Today's KSVIP, Sierra Gomez.
All right, welcome back, Artesia. Hey, we're jumping into the 8 o'clock hour here in a little bit. The chamber will be in, and they'll let us know what's going on around town. I was continuing to look through stuff going on. I don't know about you, but as I just watched this entire thing unfold in D.C. with the National Guard, I'm quite amazed that people aren't seeing the fruit of what good law enforcement, intense law enforcement can do for a community. I've been hearing the reports and the numbers. It was quite interesting. They said yesterday that it's been 12 days since there's been a murder in Washington, D.C., and everybody's excited about that, and I guess rightfully so, when it was almost a daily occurrence in that town that someone was being murdered. But man, I think sometimes for us down here in an area like this where That happens every once in a blue moon. To know that there's cities like D.C. where on a daily occurrence, someone's getting shot, someone's getting killed, people are getting carjacked, multiple carjackings a day, and everything else, and you start to think, why would anybody want to live there? But yet here, this is our nation's capital, and seeing that they've been able to bring in all this extra law enforcement. They're pulling in marshals, they're pulling in FBI. Everybody's doing their part to track down and catch bad guys. Nearly 1,000 arrests, and it's been a week and a half, 2 weeks since he enacted the act to take control of DC, and it's been pretty amazing to watch that things are changing so quickly and so rapidly up there. But yet here we are down here, and we have leaders in Santa Fe that are railing against this action. And there's people in the city of DC. I was watching videos this morning, and they're going on about how this is martial law, and they're just going to gather up all the brown people and put them in camps, and my mind just sets and goes, how do they say that out loud and really truly believe it? But it goes back to something I was telling Jeff earlier, is when you indoctrinate an entire society multi-generationally in a concept such as Marxism, you capture the minds of a people, and you capture the minds of a people group, and you create for them a world where they can exist with that level of cognitive dissonance. So say one thing and do another, and they can believe two opposing ideals all at the same time. Freedom, but yet not freedom. And it's bothersome to watch. The question, though, is not to rant and rave and rail on against how bad it is right now, but what is the solution? How do we address something like this? You got to find the source. What is the source of this type of mindset? It's been proven and shown over and over again is that the curriculum developers, that are at the national levels, and the stuff that goes on, they've just eked it in over decades and decades and decades, to the point that we just don't even see it anymore. It's like a fish swimming in water. The fish doesn't know it's in water until you take it out of it. And that's kind of where we're at with especially at the higher education levels. My daughter attends Texas Tech and is pursuing a history degree, and she's quite aware that much of what she's being taught is almost nonsense. It's a twisted history. But when what we call the great higher education system that's just helps everybody out, when it is so inundated with that mindset, and it's just fed to malleable minds in such a way as my professor said this, and they're the authority on that. They've studied it for 20 years, and they've made an entire lifetime of digging in that, but they're professionals at this, and so who am I to question that? Here's number one thing I think you teach your children: question authority. I know that seems, from a guy who talks about the law a lot, I know that seems almost backwards, but the thing is, we must question who we're hearing things from, and we have to do this on all sides. We can't. There's no benevolent, perfect group of people out there that doesn't get anything wrong, and that we should just listen to all of them. Question your pastors. Question me. Go back and read for yourself. Study. Pray on it. Look at it. That's the answer. That's how we break away from that mindset. We stop accepting the status quo. Well, it's always been this way, and We've always trusted professors. We've always trusted the education system. We've always trusted this. No, we have to question it. It's what's got us here. We can look around and see something's wrong. So we have to begin at some point to question the validity of these institutions that we have allowed to be built to direct and control our society. The craziness of the Democrats that are in power would not have gotten there if people hadn't voted for them and elected them. And I think for many of us who, common sense, just normal day-to-day people, we look at that and go, how could anybody vote for that? And the point is, there's people that have been so educated as they're dumb, and that's the point. They've gone through so much education, and they've become so indoctrinated and ingrained into this mindset of, well, if these authorities say this, it must be true, and let me never question that. Whenever you're given a textbook, whenever you're taught something, what you're getting is a summation, and who controlled the summation should always be your question. Who wrote this summation, and do I believe them? Are they a reliable source? Can I go back and double check their sources? I think that's why we're starting to see a reformation of sorts within Christianity, within academia, within the nation. We're seeing a conservative resurgence once again, and it's because of the simple fact that we have now the ability to check the validity of what we're being taught. We don't just have to accept because the teacher said it, because the professor said it, that this is absolutely true. I can go back and read the original sources. When I'm told that, well, the founding fathers were nothing but a bunch of deists, they weren't really Christians. Well, I can go back and read their writings and make that determination for myself. I can go back and read the Federalist Papers. I can go back and read Thomas Jefferson's letters to the Danbury Baptist. I can go back and see, what was he actually saying there when he said separation of church and state? What was actually being said when why did they put in the Second Amendment? Why is this amendment in here? I can go back and I can read the writings of the civil rights movement and understand that while the outcome of it was seemingly commendable, the whole movement behind it was Marxism. Let me commend to you guys this. There's a couple of videos out there by a young historian out of Dallas, Texas, named Chad O. Jackson. He's made two documentary films, Uncle Tom and Uncle Tom 2. If you have not seen these, get on Amazon Prime. I know that's the one place I watched them. I'm sure they're elsewhere, but go look for them, Uncle Tom and Uncle Tom 2, and go listen and hear the true story of the black community since the Civil War. And you'll be dumbfounded at what our country has done to that community through indoctrination and education. It's a sad, sad state of affairs. Another resource for you is go pick up the book Battle for the American Mind by our Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. It'll blow your mind about how there's been forces for over 100 and some odd years that have sought to shape this country through its re-education. And so I commend these to you. Go and read, and then go and double check their work. Go back and find the original sources. You can go back and read everything that they did when they gathered it together to present the material to you. Question your pastor, question everybody. Go back and read the sources for yourself. Read on them, study them, and expand your mind in that way. And that's the only way we recapture a mindset that is conservative in a sense, Christian in a sense. It's the only way we can gather people, is to get them to question the common ongoing narrative and look for truth in all things. All right, Artesia, let's go to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk to the chamber.
Weather This Hour brought to you by Southwest Bearing under new ownership. Custom solutions for your heavy equipment. Hydraulic hoses, hose repair, bearings, seals, sprockets, belts, tools, fluids, and fittings.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. The monsoon is picking up a little bit, and we may start to see some showers and thunderstorms coming back on Wednesday, but for now we'll stay sunny. Afternoon highs 90 to 95. Overnight, just a slim chance of a shower. We're in the upper 60s, and then sunny most of Wednesday. We can't rule out an afternoon thunderstorm, though. Our high should be in the low 90s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Artesia, get ready. The Protect Prosperity Defend Taxpayer statewide tour is coming to town. Join us Tuesday, August 26th, 5:30 p.m. at Spark by Hilton in Artesia. Hear from special guest speakers Jim Townsend, Rod Montoya, and Jonathan Henry as they share their vision to protect prosperity and stand up for taxpayers. And don't miss out, a special giveaway awaits one lucky early bird registrant. Tuesday, August 26th, 5:30 p.m. at Spark by Hilton in Artesia. Presented by AFP New Mexico and the Libre Initiative.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency.
School's back, and it's time to get your vehicle ready with back-to-school service specials at Tate Branch Auto Group. Get an oil change, brake inspection, tire rotation, multi-port check, and battery test, all starting at just $59.95 for gas, $69.95 for synthetic, and $99.99 for diesel. No appointment needed, and we're open on Saturdays to fit your schedule. Call 575-748-1317 or schedule online at TateBranchDodgeChryslerJeep.com. Experience the Tate difference, where service meets savings.
Downtown Artesia is the place to be, September 11th through the 13th, for 3 nights of music, culture, and community. Thursday kicks off with New Mexico Heritage Night, mariachi, tejano, and local flavor. Friday's all about indie folk vibes, and Saturday, Red Dirt, Black Gold, with headliner Cody Canada and The Departed. Gates open at 5, music starts at 6, plus interactive vendors, shopping, food, and cold drinks all weekend long. Bring your boots, bring your friends, and experience Artesia like never before. Full schedule at reddirtblackgold.com. A heartfelt thank you to the City of Artesia for making this event possible. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
Summer vacation is here. But just because you're on vacation doesn't mean your teeth should be. Protect your teeth this summer with a few summer tooth tips. First, drink lots of water. Believe it or not, most of the problems start with a dry mouth. Keep yourself and your mouth hydrated and happy. Avoid sugary drinks and avoid chewing on ice. Sure, it cools you off, but it's not great for your teeth. Don't forget to brush and floss regularly and dry out your toothbrush. Save your teeth for summer's sake. These tooth tips brought to you by Dr. K. Youngren and Smile Expressions, 2520 Hermosa Drive, Artesia.
For the first time ever, the National Championship Air Races are touching down in Roswell, New Mexico. From September 10th through the 14th, witness the world's best pilots battle it out in the fastest motorsport on the planet. Vintage warbirds, cutting-edge jets, aerobatics, and family fun, all against the stunning New Mexico sky.
3, 2, 1.
Get your tickets now at airrace.org. Don't miss this high-octane spectacle.
Hey Roswell, trade up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for less during the final days of the summer clearance event at Roswell Ford. Right now, save big with clearance prices on new Fords with 0% APR and make no payments for 90 days. Your friends at Roswell Ford make upgrading to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for less super fun, super fast, and super easy. If you're making payments on your current vehicle and want out early, Roswell Ford will do whatever it takes to free you from your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders that will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. Get huge American-made savings, more for your trade, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, because we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance. Interest accrues from date of sale, subject to lender approval on select vehicles. Offers not combined.
Welcome back, Artesia. We're now joined by Miss Jessica from the Chamber, and she's got goodies.
I brought goodies.
Lots of them.
I know. I'm so excited. So
we'll have to try to, like, the camera isn't
oh,
picking
I
them up, so
know.
I'll have to hold them up to my camera.
Okay. We can do that.
Awesome.
We can talk whenever you want.
Yeah.
We are getting so excited for NCAR. Obviously, it's in
3 weeks.
It spread in the newspaper this week, for the next couple of weeks actually. And but what's really cool about this is that it's going to hopefully help folks that are visiting to the area to know kind of what's happening and what can they do with their families while they're here.
Yeah.
And so we've printed this out, and we'll be posting these all over town. But I also want the public to know, and the general population of Artesia to be like, hey, there's a lot happening right here in Artesia. There's so much going on behind the scenes that we really are so excited to just get the word out and spread the word. But we also have dubbed Artesia the flyest city in southeast New Mexico.
I agree.
I mean, we're pretty fly for a white guy, right?
We absolutely are.
Anywho, so we are so excited. We have this fun little logo. We're putting it all over the place. We have luggage tags that we want to give out to visitors and locals alike, of course. We have these cute little stick sunscreens. We're trying to think of like all the stuff that they might need when they get here, that they're like, oh, dang, or, oh my gosh, I had a 4 ounce and it got confiscated at the airport, or, whatever the case may be. So we have those, and I'll bring you some more goodies next week, because we also have, like little individual fans that are on their way. They have a QR code that goes to absolutelyartesia.com, which is our brand new visitors website, that is up and running and awesome. And we're just continuously putting things on the calendar for that. We've got cooling towels, the things that you get wet, put around your neck. We just want to make sure that, just a little bit of added welcome to Artesia, welcome to this area. It's hot. It's gonna be crazy. So wear your sunscreen, put your cooling towel on, make sure your luggage has your name on it.
Lots of new Artesia merch.
Yes, so we're excited, and they all say Artesia, New Mexico, the flyest city in New Mexico. We're working on shirts. We're working on even like fun little buttons. We've been talking to a bunch of the restaurants in town, of course, about what to expect. Obviously, it's a first year, so we don't exactly know, but ideas, paring down a menu, staffing up if you can, even with short-term people that maybe they don't know your menu, maybe they don't know your secret recipes, but they can help bus tables, they can help seat people, they can help greet people, whatever the case may be. So in talking to the restaurants, they said it would be so cool to have a day designated where they all wear these cool Flyest City in New Mexico t-shirts or something fun like that, right? So all the restaurants are participating. Everybody's on board. Everybody's kind of like cohesive, one welcome. So we're working on details for that. And I'm just so excited. I think things are coming. Friday? You think Friday would be the good day, or Saturday?
Friday or Saturday, or both.
Because Saturday's the big red dirt black gold.
That is true.
Friday, I don't know. Either day would be really fun.
Yeah.
So, we're just, trucking along. There's so much to do and so much to think about. Even down to we signed up to have a bus to help get people to Roswell.
Artesia bus.
Well, that would be awesome. It's not an actual Mac bus, but it's a 57-passenger bus that is going to stop at hotels. So even all the little details of, okay, let's drive it. Let's see what's logical. How long is it going to take? How long do we stay at each hotel? So how early do we have to, what time do the races start? How early do we have to pick them up? It's just so much to think about.
Somebody out there needs to quickly get on making a giant wrap for this bus.
I don't know if
that has Artesia, Flyest City in New Mexico, so that when it drives into Roswell, we can let Roswell know we're a lot cooler than them.
We showed up. I love it. Yes. Yeah, no, we're excited. It's going to make early morning route to make sure people get there if they want to get there by the time the gates open.
Yeah.
7:45-ish. Then we'll have a mid-morning for those that wanted to sleep in or didn't make it. Around 10 or whatever by the time they get back here and start picking people up again. And then we'll have an early afternoon that will pick people up if they are just hot, kids need a nap, whatever the case may be. We'll have a shuttle that comes back, delivers everybody back home, and then we'll have a gates closing last call. Jump on the bus. Let's go. Yeah. And we are learning, Roswell's got buses going in Roswell as well. So that's really nice because they've incorporated already a bus lane that we're able to utilize. They said, please help it. Please do. This is great. You know, it helps us because, you know, they've sold over 60,000 tickets.
Yeah.
Parking, from what we heard in the very beginning, was going to be 12,000 spots. So that's a lot of parking. This is the population of Artesia-ish.
Yeah, the population of Artesia parked in one parking lot.
Which anywho, all that to say, I'm sure parking will be hard.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of walking. So if you want to just get on the bus, we'll drop you right at the gates. Obviously, this is for visitors at the hotels. We've been communicating with the hotels a lot on this. We're working on getting numbers. Obviously, that's hard. You know, some of them are so cool. They've called every single reservation that they've had. Hey, are you interested in the bus? And believe it or not, some of the places are like, a lot of them are like, no. I mean, especially the RV parks. We thought for sure there might be, some people might need rides, but they called them all, and they said no. If they have a trailer, they're just unhooking and they're going to drive. And if they have an RV, they're towing a vehicle that they could drive. So all of them are covered. We're like, okay, that's cool.
Look at that.
Yeah. So it's all the little details that you're just trying to remember and try to think about.
It's going to take us a couple years to work
Get
it out and like make it a rhythm and make it, you know, like, oh, okay, this is the answer right here.
Sure.
This is what works.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I have a meeting Thursday. I was texted
You
this
do?
morning.
At
like,
2 p.m.?
I think so.
Or at 1 p.m.?
I don't know.
Can't remember.
It's Thursday.
Anywho, it's Thursday. Today's Tuesday. It's fine.
The airport group.
Yeah.
Talking about some airport things.
Yes.
Which I see that you can put right there. Tandem skydiving.
Skydiving.
All week long.
So exciting.
I know.
Oh my gosh, so much going on. Well, and then, I mean, what's really cool too is we've tried to get as much as possible. And of course, things are continuously changing. But, you know, like the museum, she has her cool Black Wings exhibit coming.
Oh, yeah?
So stinking awesome. Is about the first African-American women to fly. And that's going to be a really neat exhibit, I think. That is coming. Of course, Wednesday welcome. You know, Jessica over at Artesia Arts Council is having this cocktails and trivia night. I think that's going to be really fun. We don't know the trivia, like the topic, but that's going to be really fun. And then, of course, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is just jam-packed. But we've tried to add on here, you know, the library's got their youth activities going on just like normal. The Aquatic Center has some really cool things. Like on Friday night, they're going to show Top Gun at the pool. And then on Saturday, they're going to have their indoor ninja course open. So that'll be kind of fun and different. People can go do that on the inside. But pickleball out at JC Park, they've got an advanced and a beginner, two different things going on. Pickleball is one of the fastest growing sports, if you can believe that.
I know, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Anyway, so that's happening. Of course, Red Dirt Black Gold, Thursday night, is the New Mexico Heritage Night. And so there's going to be 2 different bands that are headlining for that. It's Norteño music, is from what I'm hearing, and there's also going to be some folklorico dancers inside the plaza at 6 p.m. Kid Zone will be open. I think that's going to be manned and helped by the museum and the library and arts council are kind of all splitting up Kid Zone and making that a fun thing. And then Friday night is the really fun Fleetwood Mac tribute band Mirage. They will be headlining on the stage. Of course, there's live music kind of all afternoon from 5 to 10. There'll be a foam party.
What is a foam party?
How fun is that?
What is it?
So there's this company called Let's Have Foam.
Yeah.
And they come and they will set up and they literally spray foam into the air and it just like lands in the ground and all the kids just play and they have fun and they're shooting and whatever. And it actually is really fun. It makes the best pictures. I don't know how or why, but the pictures are so fun.
Sounds like fun.
It is. Let's have foam, not
fun.
fun.
Things be like, you're gonna be all covered in that stuff.
Yeah, you will, and you'll be sticky. But we did learn a lesson early on because there was a 4th of July, I think, or a Flag Day parade a while back, a few years ago, where we had red and blue foam for Flag Day, right? Super fun, super patriotic. It was great, except everybody left looking like a Smurf. So we realized, don't get the colored foam. Get the white foam. It's fine.
All right. Hey, well, let's take a quick commercial break. And we'll come back and we'll talk about some more.
Okay.
With your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. A shooting early Monday leaves a 31-year-old man dead in North Roswell. RPD says officers responded just before 7 in the morning to the area of North Sherman Avenue and 23rd Street. After multiple gunshots were heard, the victim then knocked on someone's door in the 2300 block of North Sherman. The residents drove the man to the hospital, but he later died. The victim is identified as Darren Estephan Johnson, and the gunman is believed to have fled in a car, which was later located by police. However, no suspect information or motive is known. Minute with the Mayor returns today in Artesia. Mayor John Henry will be available for questions about anything going on in Artesia. Stop by Kith and Ken from 8:30 to 9:30 this morning. Minute with the Mayor happens every second and fourth Tuesday of each month at 105 North 5th Street in Artesia. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
Good morning. The tech stocks rally shows more signs of losing steam. The three main stock market averages all started the week lower by 1/4 to 3/4%. Some stocks in real estate, manufacturing, banks, and stocks in smaller stock market companies have been rising as the new alternatives to tech and AI stocks. The Wall Street Journal even says that AI is improving more slowly now and that may be a good thing. They say many companies are using AI to write emails or marketing material, but few are actually making money from using AI, and AI could be like the internet that took 10 years from 1990 to 2000 to reach mass adoption. President Trump's unusual idea of lower tariffs in return for countries investing in the United States has evolved now into the U.S. government getting financial stakes in some U.S. companies, including Intel. Republican Senator Rand Paul says government stakes in private companies are a step towards socialism, but President Trump says, "I'll make deals for our country all day long." Fast food chains are trying to keep their pricing below $10. They say $10 is customers' psychological ceiling. With business, I'm Joe Connolly.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report. If you want the foolproof method to create bulletproof personal wealth, Mark Burns, CFA, shows you how a janitor and a secretary made millions from a simple and affordable approach that anyone can learn to do for themselves. The book, Making Wall Street Irrelevant, shows how a beginner investor can create bulletproof personal wealth without making high-risk investments. Get Making Wall Street Irrelevant. Available on Amazon.com. Making Wall Street Irrelevant will make someone you love a lot of money.
Hey everyone, with your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales. Players know the NFL stands for not for long, which makes today's deadline for roster cuts nerve-wracking. Fan favorite Deuce Vaughn explains after this.
AT&T has a new guarantee, because most things in life are not guaranteed, like getting through self-checkout by yourself.
Warning, each item must be placed in the bagging area.
Not guaranteed.
Place item in the bagging area.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve. Or we make it right. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
A true Dallas Cowboys fan is there for the journey and the destination. This is the season to make your journey count by flying through McAllen International Airport, the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. Whether you're flying down for McAllen's award-winning fall and holiday festivals, or you're a South Texas fan flying up to cheer the Cowboys on, make your journey as satisfying as your destination at the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. McAllen International Airport, above, beyond, at McAllenAirport.com.
Today by 3 p.m. Central, the Cowboys and all NFL teams must cut their rosters from 90 to 53 players. Could it be the last day in Dallas for a veteran like running back Deuce Vaughn, who at 5'5" is a fan favorite? Deuce has a positive perspective whether or not he survives the cut.
Playing in the National Football League has been my dream since I was a little kid. For it to happen the way that it did puts even more of gratitude and happiness in my heart. Try to maximize every opportunity that you had, and now you just kind of understand that you put your best foot forward, and whatever happens, happens. And without a doubt, it's been a blessing to even be in this position for going on year 3 now. So I'm very blessed, and I'll spend this time with my family and stuff like that.
Starting tomorrow, teams can decide which players to sign to the practice squad. With your Cowboys report, I'm Christy Scales.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. The monsoon is picking up a little bit, and we may start to see some showers and thunderstorms coming back on Wednesday, but for now we'll stay sunny. Afternoon highs 90 to 95. Overnight, just a slim chance of a shower. We're in the upper 60s, and then sunny most of Wednesday. We can't rule out an afternoon thunderstorm, though. Our high should be in the low 90s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Jessica's in here dancing for us.
I know. I'm glad Jeffrey hadn't turned the camera on yet.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to keep an eye out here, Jeff. When she starts doing goofy stuff, turn on the cameras. Okay. All right. Well, welcome back. Hey, so in-car is the focus. I mean, we got 2 weeks. I was wrong a while ago. We're not 3 weeks. We're 2 weeks away from this thing kicking off. I know, yeah.
Well, and I mean, really, we've been hearing that there's a few, or not a few, but some families that come for the whole week. Okay. So they come early, and they'll explore the area, go to caverns, probably, whatever, go see the aliens in Roswell, explore, and then they buckle down, they focus, and they go to the races every single day.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is like, are the hotels reporting like bookings? Starting on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, like what's the biggest chunk probably? Can we
probably
expect
Tuesday night? Okay, Tuesday night, but they said they've got people coming in that are and this is coming straight from people that are like, we've got some tie-down reservations at the airport that have called. They've made their reservations. They're bringing their families. They've got friends coming. They're coming then on the weekend. They're coming Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, so a week and a half away from starting to get an influx of visitors.
Yes.
Which is cool. I think, if it was me and I was dumping this much money into this one event each year, I'd show up a few days early, get my feel of the place, make sure I'm like ready to go, because you don't want to show up the day of and end up like not being able to move around, not find anything.
Yeah, getting lost, and you're stuck in traffic, so you don't know if you made the right turn or not. And you're like, I don't know what's going on.
I'm not from here.
Yeah. For real. It's here, it's happening. And what I'm so excited about really is that we feel like we're, for the last year and a half or however long it has been, that we've been having meetings and really talking to them, especially Mr. Telling, the CEO and chairman of the Reno Air Race Association. He's been to Artesia multiple times. He's talked to us. He keeps us in the loop. Mike Esperito in Roswell, Chaves County Economic Development, has really been a big help. Him and Haley, luckily, are buddies, and they can just call each other when there's questions or concerns or whatever. Yeah. And so, especially because with things like this come rumors, and with the press release last week about the unlimited
Unlimited
class
being
that
pulling out, yeah.
pulled out. Everyone's like, "Oh, they're canceling. Everything's canceled." And we're like, "No, no, 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 no. Oh, it's fine. Everything's fine. Everything." So it's just, it is what it is.
And they
but
did offer. I know they did offer refunds for some people, partial refunds for some people who were coming just for that. And I get it. Like, if that's the class you follow,
Sure.
people might be like, I'm out for this year.
Sure, yeah.
But I mean, that's just a temporary thing.
Yes.
That was just kind of a fluke, really. It just didn't pan out, but next year it'll be full on. And my understanding is they're going to go beyond the unlimited class to the jet class after that. Was the original, when they were talking to us, I think it's the first meeting. It's like, it's not only going to get back to unlimited class next year, but after that, they're wanting to bring in the class of jets that are like move super, super fast.
The super jets.
Yeah, like that stuff's crazy.
Yeah. They said that this new course is bigger than what they had in Reno, and therefore their max speed, they're, of course, still working with the FAA on that, but their max speed can be a little bit higher, which would then include that super jet class.
So I'm excited.
Future
to see
growth, right?
Future growth.
So cool.
And so get ready, Artesia. Be welcoming. Be kind.
Yes.
We're going to get tourist.
We're going to have tourists.
We're not normally a tourist town.
Yes.
And so it does take some adjusting to. But if you're just nice to people and you talk to them and stuff, it's pretty amazing. So
well, and I also think, I don't know how to get the word out as best I can, but the traffic.
Yeah.
There will be a lot more traffic. So going to school that week, I don't know how to tell people, please go early. Please go early.
Yeah.
I mean, of course,
but
mostly by 7 a.m., hopefully they'll have already hit the road to go to Roswell for the races. But
and I don't
potentially
think there's
not
a whole lot of traffic in the residential areas that much. It's
13th and Main, that's like a huge area for the high school, for Zia, for Yucca, for the hospital. Like 13th is like a
You see, I don't take kids to school, so
Yeah.
I think about that.
Yeah.
And it's nice. I just come here to the church and go home.
Yeah, I know. Anywho, all that to say, like, for real, traffic's going to be a thing. Main Street's going to be busy. First Street's going to be busy.
Yeah.
And so I guess, like you said, be kind, be patient.
Yeah.
Give yourself extra time to get somewhere more than 5 minutes. It'll maybe be 10.
Yeah.
And
it's gonna be good.
Get a little book on tape that you can listen to.
Yeah.
Like you have this long commute.
Yeah. It's oh no, it took 8 minutes instead of 5 to get across town.
Yeah.
It's Artesia.
It's Artesia. Anywho, all that to say, we're so excited. We have done as much as we can, as much as possible, to make sure that they're welcomed, that they're, with open arms. We have so much going on to try to keep them entertained and have a good time after the races are over. There's nothing going on in Roswell. As far as like at the airport, once the races are done, that's it. The gates close, it's done, it's over for the night. And so there's a couple of events that I heard about in Roswell. There's a Piñata Fest, and there's some sort of Republican ball thing going on. But as far as I know, there's not any big community events that are happening down there. So
Cowboy prom.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe what I'm thinking is we might get people that are even staying in Roswell that come to these
here
events.
To check out Artesia because they find out there's events.
Live music, all kinds of vendors.
You need to get these up at the airport.
Oh, mister. We just got these yesterday morning, and we have 500 of them.
500 of them.
So we're taking them everywhere we can.
Exactly.
And I'm going to leave a chunk here, too.
Good.
So anywho, all that to say, I keep saying that. Anywho. We're excited.
Yeah.
September 10th through the 14th is going to be the air races in Roswell. If you have not bought your tickets yet, I will highly encourage you to, because the prices are going up, number one, and they're selling out, number two.
Yeah.
So especially if you want, a box or anything like that where you can have some air conditioning, where you might get some food, where you might have access to quick restrooms.
Well, and it's not just the races. The races are there. That's cool.
Yes.
But they got the Warbirds military planes coming in. They've got static displays. They've got all
Yeah.
kinds of cool. It's kind of like an air show, but not on the same scale as an air show with all the planes sitting on the ground. But there's going to be a bunch of other stuff happening there as well.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. And they put something out yesterday about that, about some of their, entertainment that they'll have in between the races and things that are going to happen.
Yeah.
I do know there's a bunch of cool stuff for the kids. There's like there's a whole robotics
there's like a whole
thing.
STEM thing going on
STEM.
there. Yeah.
So like you said, not only is it going to be really fun just to watch the races, but there will be lots going on. And like I said, once it's over, come back to Artesia and party with us. There's going to be so much going on. We're excited.
Downtown is going to be packed,
Yes.
and there's going to be a lot of fun down there, so come on
Yes.
down.
If people are
Vendors
wondering, Main
galore.
Street will be open this year.
Yes.
So last year, Red Dirt Black Gold was on Main Street. We closed it off. We blocked it off. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
However, in realizing that we will have such an influx of visitors, we felt that it would be very unfair of them, and they might not enjoy coming to a town where all of a sudden there's quote unquote construction and roadblocks, and even if it is for something fun, makes
especially
it
since you're gonna be
challenging.
turning down Main Street to head to all their hotels and stuff. So.
Yes, for sure. So we made it back on a Texas Street.
Yeah.
However, we flip-flopped it. So instead of the stage being at Roselawn, it's going to be at 5th Street.
5th Street.
5th Street.
Right in front of City Hall.
Yes, sir. It'll be in the intersection. There will be 5th and Texas will be so much fun. There's going to be tents, tables, chairs, all the things. You can bring your own chairs too. It'll be fenced in just like last year. Lots of beer vendors, lots of food vendors. They have 20-ish food vendors.
Oh, wow.
They have over, I think, 20 regular like craft style type vendors. Really fun. So there's shopping opportunities, especially that New Mexico Heritage Night. I'm really interested. I haven't talked to the person in charge of all the vendors, but I think it'd be fun to have turquoise jewelry out there, silversmiths, whatever, to like welcome all these people to New Mexico, just show them kind of our heritage.
Yeah.
And of course, just food, like I said, food, beer,
food,
entertainment,
Plenty
shopping.
to do.
What more do you need?
Yeah.
It's going to be so fun. And it's only $10 if you're 21 and up.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's
$10.
free.
Yeah.
So, way awesome. Tickets are live. ArtesiaMainStreet.com. Her ears must be ringing because, we're talking about the events. So, yeah, tickets are live. I believe it's at ArtesiaMainStreet.com. But you can find so much information about everything at either ArtesiaChamber.com, in-car button, or our brand new visitors website, absolutelyartesia.com.
Yeah.
There's also an in-car button there. They both go to the same page. All the information on all of the events happening here. Even if you have rental car needs, Lyft, if you need a Lyft or an Uber, you need an Airbnb, you need a tie down at the airport, all of that stuff is all out on our website. So
yeah. Okay.
Holy moly, it's coming.
Yeah. So we're
2 weeks from today ish. We're gonna.
It's a big shift, I think I hope people can embrace it. People aren't always great at embracing change.
Yes.
We like things the way we like things. But this is going to be a change, and it's going to be an annual event. It's something that we can all kind of get into, look forward to every year, and go forward. And it's going to be huge. This year is not going to be, the economic impact this year probably won't be as astronomical as maybe we would hope, because it's first year, everything's going to be. But in the coming years, this could almost, I won't say double, but it's going to increase the income coming into this town. The lodger's tax is going to be huge off of this.
Yes.
And so there's a ton of things that are going to pour into the city that are going to allow us to become a more, I guess a better site for tourism. And I think another thing people need to understand is, and this was told to us in the very first meeting, is once people get attached to the area and the races are here industries will start. Industries that follow this
Yes.
this race stuff. So air industries and stuff like that will start moving into the general area. Will they come to Artesia? Who knows? I don't know. But they'll come to this general area, and that's always good. Any economic growth we can get going, anything we can get to gain more income than just relying on one source of income in this town, I think that's huge.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. I think, and like you said, people come, and if they stay here for the first time and they fall in love with our community, then they'll just keep continuing to come back. And how easy, that's easy money. If they just call you every year and say, hey, can I do your house again?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
cool.
and it's this is a community. This is a subculture of its own, and they're all connected, and they talk, and they have their Facebook boards, and they all their way of communicating. And if they fall in love with Artesia, then they'll tell their friends, hey, no, I know you stayed in Roswell last time. You should stay in Artesia this time. And we can start to get a following for our little town here.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's another following. They follow certain pilots that they like to watch that they're like, well, this is, it's like you following a professional athlete or a NASCAR driver. It's the same type of deal. So they have their following. So this particular pilot, they're going to be at XYZ place tonight. This is where they're going to go have a beer after the races, after they've raced all day. We want to try to go get an autograph from him. We want to go try to take a picture with him. We're going to go to that place because he is there, he or she or whoever. So I feel like that would be cool too if we're like, hey, XYZ pilot is coming to Adobe Rose every night.
Yeah.
They're going to have a huge, huge deal. Or, hey, if this is going to be our hangout downtown, this whole fenced-in area, and we've got live music and we have beer vendors and food vendors and whatever, come try to meet your pilot. If we could get some pilots here, we could get a lot of people here.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
It'd be so fun. We're excited. It's going to be really neat. And again, if you are not into lots of people, maybe book a last-minute trip.
Yeah, book a last-minute
somewhere
trip.
else.
Airbnb
your house. Pay for the trip with your Airbnb money. Yeah. Win-win for everybody. We've got a place to stay for those that are coming, and a place you've got a little bit of income to pay for a fun little trip. Yep. Fun little getaway.
So we got 30 seconds left. So tell everybody if they want to get involved, if they want to be part of what's going on downtown or anything else.
Oh, yes. There is a Sign Up Genius for volunteers. That's a huge, huge need. And it'll be at artesiamainstreet.com. Please, please, please follow Red Dirt Black Gold on Facebook. That everything is updated daily, if not more than once a day. So reddirtblackgold.com, artesiamainstreet.com, Facebook, social media, whatever it is. There is a Sign Up Genius. We've even got it on our chamber chat. So awesome. If you want to call the chamber, we'll help you out.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for coming in,
sir.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Air Method's Native Air Emergency Air Medical Program has been serving New Mexico communities for over 20 years. And now we're proud to bring our life-saving air medical services to Eddy County, based at Artesia General Hospital. Air Methods is the largest air medical provider in the country, with experienced flight crews who lead the industry in key critical life-saving skills. If you need our services, you're in good hands. Worried about costs? The No Surprises Act protects patients from unexpected, out-of-network air ambulance bills. This means that if you have private health insurance and are transported by an out-of-network air ambulance provider, you are only responsible for your in-network copay, coinsurance, or deductible. No membership required when you fly with Native Air. Learn more at airmethods.com. That's airmethods.com. Copays, coinsurance, and deductibles are set by insurance providers, not Air Methods. Terms and costs may vary. Contact your insurer for details.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
There is a difference.
When was the last time a bank asked you about your needs or your goals? When you're a member of Artesia Credit Union, you get to use your money for something more important than fees and finance charges. You get to use your money for you. Membership is open to anyone who calls New Mexico home. Become a member of Artesia Credit Union today and see what your partners can do for you. North 5th Street in Artesia or online at artesiacu.org. Artesia Credit Union, member NCUA.
You drove the miles and your tires are done. Got to shop the best prices under the sun at Big O. Big O Tires.
Shop top brand tires with the lowest tire price guarantee and visit your locally owned Big O Tires. Now through September 1st, get $80 to $120 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Cooper, Nexen, Nitto, or Sumitomo brand tires with installation purchase. Installation required. Disposal fees and shop fees extra where permitted. See store for pricing. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers.
Kane Electrical Supply is your #1 distributor when it comes to the top-of-the-line inventory. Kane Electric carries name brands such as Appleton, Burndy, Fluke, Cooper Lighting, Hoffman, Phillips Lighting, iDeck, Klein Tools, and Square D. Kane Electric has your professionals and will assist you with any information you may have on electrical supplies. Kane Electric delivers on location too. Come by Kane Electric today in Artesia at 1911 North Roselawn.
Did you know Artesia Ford now offers mobile service? That's right, we come to you. From fluid and air filter changes, battery and wiper replacements, low tires to diagnostic scans and software updates, Artesia Ford's mobile service makes light maintenance easy and convenient. Call Stephen Chavaria, your mobile service manager today, 575-746-3578 to schedule your visit. Limited services and distances apply, so don't wait. Get service on the go with Artesia Ford.
Family owned and operated for 4 generations, Forest Tire is here to service all your tire needs day and night. With your busy travel schedule, what you need is a tire that can keep up, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire with an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety you expect. You can lose track of time and focus on what really matters. For all your tire needs, brakes and alignments too, Forest Tire Company is a friend you can always count on. Forest Tire, keeping you rolling since 1944.
In a letter posted on his social media platform, the president said he's removing Cook because of allegations that she committed mortgage fraud. Cook had said she wouldn't leave her post despite the president previously calling for her to resign. The move is a sharp escalation in his battle to gain greater control over the nation's central bank, which historically has enjoyed political independence. For months, Donald Trump has berated Fed Chair Jerome Powell for not lowering interest rates. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Washington, D.C. has been murder-free for a dozen days now, and there have been more than 1,000 arrests since President Trump's crackdown on crime began almost 3 weeks ago. Presidential aide Stephen Miller says Washingtonians are thrilled even if D.C.'s Democrat leaders are not.
I've had a chance to spend some time, as has everyone here, with the police officers in the city. Members of the public are going up to them and thanking them, just overflowing with gratitude, because for the first time in their lives, they can use the parks, they can walk on the streets. You have people who can walk freely at night without having to worry about being robbed or mugged. They're wearing their watches again. They're wearing jewelry again. They're carrying purses again.
And he calls the doctoring of crime stats in the city a massive scandal. The U.S. Coast Guard says it seized a record 76,000 plus pounds of drugs this summer off Central and South America. Yesterday, the Coast Guard offloaded 76,140 pounds of drugs at Port Everglades, described as the largest single haul of illegal drugs in the agency's history. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is down 22 points, on the NASDAQ trading 28 points higher, and the S&P is up 1 point. More on these stories at townhall.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-0141.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-0141. That's 800-583-0141. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
An American soccer star, the target of some very unsportsmanlike conduct while playing in Italy.
Juventus says U.S. midfielder Weston McKennie has been subjected to racist abuse following the team's 2-0 season-opening win over Parma in Serie A play on Sunday. The Turin-based club posted a statement on social media saying McKennie faced discriminatory remarks from individuals in the away section while warming down with teammates on the pitch. Juventus pledged full cooperation with authorities to identify those responsible. Parma has also condemned the incident in a statement released Monday. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is accusing Iran of directing at least 2 anti-Semitic attacks in Australia and says the country is cutting off diplomatic relations in response. He says that Australian intelligence services connected Iran to the arson attack at a restaurant and a synagogue. Townhall.com. Despite an outcry, Cracker Barrel is standing by its new slimmed-down logo.
But the chain is also apologizing to fans who were angered when the change was announced last week. Cracker Barrel said Monday that it could have done a better job sharing the company's reasons for the new logo. It also emphasized that many things won't change, like the rocking chairs on its front porches. Cracker Barrel took heat on social media last week when it announced a simplified logo featuring only the chain's name. Gone was the picture of an older man in overalls leaning against a barrel. The words "Old Country Store" were also removed. Keith Peters, Washington.
The Trump administration has halted construction of a nearly completed wind farm off Rhode Island and Connecticut, citing national security concerns and energy reliability issues. The project, called Revolution Wind, is roughly 80% complete. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Today's KSVIP is Sierra Gomez. Sierra is celebrating a birthday. Birthday blessing to our beautiful shining star. We love you and pray that your day brings you as much joy as we feel when we hear you sing. And this is from your family. Today, Sierra, you're going to receive a flower from Nell's Floral and KSVP. Today's KSVIP, Sierra Gomez.
All right, welcome back, Artesia. Hey, we're joined in studio now by Jeremy Armstrong for the Americans for Prosperity. Welcome, Jeremy. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on. So, Jeremy, you represent AFP, and you guys have got an event going on here tonight with some of our local politicians, Senator Jim Townsend, Representative Rod Montoya, and John Henry. So tell us a little bit about Americans for Prosperity, kind of where did it come from, and what's y'all's goal and mission of what you're doing?
So Americans for Prosperity, we've been around for 20 years now. It's the nation's largest, at least grassroots movement. Mm-hmm. We try and get engaged with the public, and we try and get people out and active when it comes to politics, and we advocate for things that we think will benefit the people. We believe everybody should have the opportunity to chase their version of their American dream, whatever that may be. And, when it comes to things, we were just talking before we went on air about things like regulation lower taxes, more money in their pocket, less regulation, so that they can go out and chase their version, whether it's, being a small business owner. I was watching something this morning about a brewer in Wisconsin where, they had to go out because there are so many regulations. They had a lot of issues. So we try and advocate and get people out and active when it comes to things in the political arena. We try and avoid politics. We focus on policies that we think will benefit people. But sometimes we do have to get into politics because we need people that'll champion our causes and help fight with us to push those policies into law.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, so you guys have got a real strong emphasis on engaging in the local level and in the political sphere with those policies that are holding back small business, holding back people from improving their lot in life, essentially.
Yes.
And so sounds like a pretty phenomenal organization. And so, do you represent the entire state of New Mexico for AFP, or what's your role in the organization?
So I'm the grassroots engagement director. So with Americans for Prosperity, there's 2 of us in New Mexico.
Okay.
We also, our sister organization, the Libre Initiative, we also have another grassroots engagement director with them. And his name's Kieran. He'll be here tonight as well. And Bobby Curtis, she's out of Albuquerque. She's the other grassroots engagement director for Americans for Prosperity. I'm located out of Las Cruces, but being as sparse as New Mexico is, I get to travel around quite a bit. We were just in Farmington at the beginning of the month, and I was actually born and raised up in that area, so I was happy to get back to that part of the state. So we all work together as a team to, cover the entire state. So
okay. And so what kind of activities do you guys kind of engage in as far as this? Is it just community engagement? Is there lobbying, or what kind of things are you guys doing that people can help support?
All of the above.
All the above. All
we,
right.
We try to do events locally, whether it's in Las Cruces, Albuquerque, right now we're in Artesia. We're looking to be in Hobbs sometime next month. And then, I plan on coming back. I love, I grew up in small town New Mexico, and I love, the culture, the atmosphere. And what we do is we go into areas and we say, what do you guys need?
Mm-hmm.
So if there's something going on and, people want to be educated about something, we'll come in and provide a class just explaining how things work in that arena, whatever it is. And then we also do things like last year, HB 11, we thought it was going to be crippling to small business. So we had a lot of events around that. We trained people to go speak in front of committees, and we took a group up to Santa Fe and had a great time. We got up there, we were in committee, and they didn't realize how many people there were against it, and they called for a vote, and when they saw how many were against it, they didn't even count how many were for it, and they just it didn't shut down the committee, but you could see the look on the faces of the people that wanted to pass it, that they were like, oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was a group like this coming up here. So
yeah, so you guys were able to kind of stop that in committee just by sharing the voice of the local communities and getting that word out for us.
Yeah, and I'd love to take full credit for that, but I think it was a combined effort across the state, between us and other different city chambers.
Yeah.
And, other organizations that thought the same thing that we did, that it's going to be crippling for small business, and we've got to make sure this doesn't pass because it's going to hurt the very people they're trying to help.
Awesome. So quickly right now, like what are items on your agenda, or what are you guys looking at right now that are of probably first tier concern for New Mexico, especially rural New Mexico right now that you guys are working on?
So right now we're looking at different ways that we can help, reduce regulation to help encourage growth. I think we've got the oil industry in this part, especially this part of the state, and it's fantastic. It helps drive the economy, and it's amazing. But we also need to diversify our economy so that we have more agriculture, we have more small businesses, more things that people can rely on. So if the prices of oil do drop, You know, our economy is not solely dependent on this one source of income. You know, the state of New Mexico, almost half of its income is derived strictly off of the oil industry, which, you know, it's great that it can provide all that and help people, but we need to diversify it a little bit so that we're not stuck just to that one thing. I think we need to continue to support the oil industry and quit, you know, we've seen lawmakers from other parts of the state consistently going after them. You know, they call the oil people greedy, but it's the lawmakers that are getting greedy, wanting more and more money. You know, we need to provide other options for people and give people other things that they can do, and we want to see, you know, which areas we can help out with that, what regulations we need to get rid of, and try and help people.
So I think you would agree with this, and I'm sure something you guys are on top of is are you guys looking at what industries that might want to come to the state but won't because of our regulatory mafia we have in control of this state?
We do. We look at different things, and there's some things that we're looking at as far as, you know, different laws and regulations regarding licensing, different ways that we can get some, you know, some licensing compacts where possibly we can bring in other, you know, make it easier for people that want to come to New Mexico. Yeah. I know there's a lot of people that might come if it was a little bit easier, but they look at what goes into it and it's just not worth it for them. So we want to try and make it easier for people that have already gone through the process, gotten licensed in their state, say, you know what, let's transfer that over to New Mexico so we can come operate there.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about the meeting tonight. So what can people expect coming out to the meeting? What does it look like and what's going on?
So you can expect some great food. We've got Adobe Rose that's going to be catering it. We're going to have some drinks there. We started our Protect Prosperity and Defend Taxpayers tour with the intention of getting the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act extended, because a lot of people don't realize it was going to expire at the end of the year. Yeah. Which would have meant a tax raise for all of us. Everybody says, oh, well, it's just a tax cut for the rich. If you make between $11,000 and $93,000 a year, it would have been a 3% increase in your taxes.
And for small business owners, it would have been devastating.
Oh, yeah. It would have crushed them. And then, you know, and that's not even mentioning the child tax credit and standard deductions would be cut almost in half. So, right. So that would have been a huge increase for everybody. And we just think that right now we're not in a position where people can afford that. And so we started off with that, and then with the signing of the One Big Beautiful Bill that codified those into law, which we're very grateful for. And so now we're going around celebrating that, talking about some of the other things that are concerns to people in the One Big Beautiful Bill, and then also transitioning into what does that mean for New Mexicans? And what else can we do as New Mexicans to get involved and try and help improve policy in our state?
Right, right. So you guys are going to be talking about that, going to be discussing some of the benefits, I guess, that come out of the One Big Beautiful Bill, kind of discussing that, but then also looking forward to what are some avenues, I guess, of approaching change here within the state of New Mexico then.
Yeah, we're definitely looking at what we can do to help change the state, and I think the state is due for a change. You know, it's funny, growing up here, I always look forward to getting out. You know, I just want to get out of here, and especially the small town, I wanted to get out. And now, I told you earlier this month I was up in Farmington, and now that I'm older, I realize how awesome New Mexico is. Yeah. Like we've got one of the most, you know, the best scenery. We've got, you know, whether it's White Sands, Carlsbad Caverns, you know, you go up, you know, there's different cliff dwellings. Yeah. We've got all kinds of amazing things here, and I think the people here deserve better. So we need to see, you know, what we can do to start changing it, what we can do to help improve some of these things like education, and just make sure that everybody knows that they have the opportunity to succeed here. Because I feel, coming from here, I know a lot of people feel kind of a defeatist mentality where they think, oh, well, I'm just consigned to a life of, you know, a menial job where I just barely get by, and that's not the case. You know, we're all capable and we're all deserving of better. So we want to do everything we can to help New Mexicans realize that.
Right. And that's one of the things, you know, having lived around the world, I came to the realization years ago that coming home was what we wanted to do, because even though we are trapped in a democratic state, that we're trapped in this kind of an economic hole right now. You know, I think the state, especially if you're an outdoors person, if you're a history buff, if you're this state is an amazing place to be, and the small town vibe, it can't be beat. You know,
it's amazing.
It really is. But I think all of us would agree that there's so much more potential to the area. Though, you know, that we, like I said, we love our oil industry, you know, but there's so much more potential to the area that is so untapped as far as land space and resources and everything else, that I think if we can get people's minds wrapped around it and fighting for the right things and opening up you're destroying regulation is what we need to do. We need to destroy regulation. Take a mindset of like, let's uncuff. You know, we're fighting with both hands tied behind our back right now. And the truth of it is, I think as you guys keep going forward, I think it's great that you guys are out there and you're fighting. How can people get involved in AFP if they want to find out more? They want to get involved. You know, I mean, do you guys have local chapters? Do you have anything like that, or how does the organization
work?
We
have a state chapter. You can follow us on social media. We've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Twitter and Instagram is at AFPNM.
Okay.
And then Facebook is NMAFP. It's kind of weird, but the AFPNM it's already taken by somebody halfway across the world. So,
of course.
But I would definitely look on there, and there's ways to follow. And then you can also, come to our event tonight. We'll be happy to get you more information, get you involved. We just kicked off with Americans for Prosperity, the national organization kicked off our One Small Step campaign. And coming up on the 250th anniversary of our nation's birth, we want to get every state to get active and have 250,000 actions that can help contribute towards something positive, whether that's writing a legislator, making a phone call, different things where you can get involved to try and help enact change, because the government's not the solution. I think you and I know that.
Yeah.
I think the people are the solution, and we want to help get as many people to realize that and also get them involved in being part of the solution as we can.
Well, and I think you made a great point earlier that carries into that is, a lot of people go, I don't, what's writing my senator going to do? What's writing these people going to do? Any of that? But when legislatures, regardless what side of the aisle are on, when they see a voice as overpowering as what you guys brought against HB 11, they listen. Yeah. They quickly realize, hey, look, I'm not going to get on the wrong side of this whole thing, regardless of what my party says. And I think that makes some difference and makes change. So it does require that grassroots effort of people being involved. And it takes organizations like yours, I think, to lead the way and get people excited about that.
Yeah, we have to remind them that they work for us.
Yeah.
And I think, we get complacent, and we live in a great country where we all have this civic duty to get out and vote, and we need to make sure that we're holding our politicians accountable. And in New Mexico, that's something that's gone unchecked for far too long. They just continue to vote, down the line, and they do that in spite of the results that they're seeing from those policies. So we want to get people involved, get them out voting, and let them know it doesn't matter which side you're on. If you're not doing what you say you're going to do and you're not doing what's best for the people, we're going to come in and we're going to bring somebody else that'll hopefully do what they say they're going to do. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, Jeremy, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being on and letting us know. And if for everybody interested tonight, the AFP Protect Prosperity and Defend Taxpayers statewide tour is the next stops here in Artesia tonight, Tuesday, August 26th, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Spark by Hilton. For those of you who remember, it would have been the old Hotel Artesia at 203 North 2nd Street. And we're going to be hearing from Jim Townsend, Rod Montoya, and Jonathan Henry. And there's a special giveaway for one early bird registrant. You guys can go online to AFP New Mexico. They're on Facebook and stuff, and I'm sure they're going to have registration for this stuff.
Yes, we'll have the link for the registration.
Links there on that, and so you can go find that and get a link. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jeremy. I appreciate you being on, man.
No, it's been a pleasure.
All right.
Appreciate it.
And I hope it's a great event tonight. All right. God bless.
It will be.
I'm I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. The monsoon is picking up a little bit, and we may start to see some showers and thunderstorms coming back on Wednesday, but for now we'll stay sunny. Afternoon highs 90 to 95. Overnight, just a slim chance of a shower. We're in the upper 60s, and then sunny most of Wednesday. We can't rule out an afternoon thunderstorm, though. Our high should be in the low 90s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Sometimes that dog barking is an Artesia Bulldog preparing for victory. Most of the time, however, it's probably just the family pet asking for attention. Artesia Animal Clinic provides a full range of services for just about any size pet or animal. Our new clinic has been expanded to provide better quality of care, including an in-house laboratory, radiology, surgery, herd health, and more. So the next time your pet looks like they could use some extra care, come by Artesia Animal Clinic in our newly remodeled and expanded facility at 110 West Mahone Drive.
Football is back, and Roswell Honda is celebrating with serious savings across the lot, like 4.99% APR for 48 months on all new Civic hatchback, 4.49% for 60 months on all new Pilots, and 3.49% for 60 months on new CR-V hybrid models. And score even more savings on the pre-owned lot. Don't forget, every vehicle on the lot has undergone a rigorous multi-point inspection, so you can rest assured it'll get you all the way to the end zone every time. Game day or any day, score huge savings right now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Hawker & Sons of Artesia, a company specializing in excavation and construction, is proud to support and provide construction services to the people and businesses of Eddy County and the surrounding area. With their expert knowledge of the industry, Hawker & Sons is well equipped to offer top-level service and professionalism to all oil field businesses, commercial and private parties with excavation and construction needs. Call Hawker & Sons today at 575-365-3175 or visit their website at hawkerandsons.com. Go Bulldogs!
Unlock the power of effective financial control with First American Bank's wide range of products to help you manage the inflow and the outflow of your cash while gaining efficiency and maximizing profitability. Plus, with robust security measures available through our treasury management products, you'll have greater peace of mind knowing you have taken steps to protect your money. Let us be your partner in growth and success, because when you succeed, we do too. First American Bank, your local first community bank since 1903. Member FDIC.
Summertime is the right time to move on into the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop. The Cow is an authorized handy quilter long-arm dealer. They make their own quilts, shirts, and rope bowls right at the Cow. Come in and check out all the summer fabrics, plus stellar fabrics for our interstellar travelers. The Cow has Brothers sewing machines with warranties on sale now, and they can fix and perform maintenance on all brands. So log on to RoswellQuilting.com to order. The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop, 200 East College in Roswell. Want to know how? Come see the Cow.
Bob Reed Pest Control. Reliable, professional, and experienced. The technicians at Bob Reed Pest Control have been providing pest management services for over 50 years and will continue to set high standards for their customers. Protect your family's most important investment, your home, and protect your children and pets from the dangers of poisonous bugs and insects. Everyone at Bob Reed Pest Control are trained and knowledgeable in the latest pest management practices, offering effective treatment plans for each situation. Bob Reed Pest Control. Find them online, BobReedPestControl.com, or call 575-623-5344. Serving all of Southeast New Mexico. Wilbanks LLC and Wilbanks Trucking Services LLC has over 37 years of experience, from 1987 to 2025, in the Permian Basin oil and gas industry. Wilbanks recently divested out of the rig moving operations to focus exclusively on providing crane services to support the growing demand in the basin. Wilbanks continues to provide quality, expert, and performance-based services to a multitude of customers, with a fleet ranging from 60-ton to 350-ton cranes and locations in Hobbs, Artesia, and Odessa, Texas. We hope that you will consider our team for projects ranging from plant builds, compressor sets, to general site build. Please call us at 575-746-6318 to find out what we can do for you. Wilbanks LLC, your regional expert in the crane world.
Every breath you take, and every move you
Welcome back, Artesia. Hey, we're joined now via Zoom by Mr. Aaron Irving. Aaron, how you doing, bud?
I'm good. How about you?
Oh, we're plugging right along over here today.
Good, good.
So, you got a funny joke for me this morning, man?
We'll see if it's funny or not. I got a joke for you.
We don't have pick a joke this week. Last week we had pick a joke. You got
right. This was picked out for you. We're on the football track here, so.
Okay.
The huge college freshman decided to try out for the football team. Can you tackle? Asked the coach. Watch this, said the freshman, who proceeded to run smack into a telephone pole, shattering it to splinters. Wow, said the coach, I'm impressed. Can you run? Of course I can run, said the freshman. He was off like a shot. In just over 9 seconds, he'd ran a 100-yard dash. Great, the coach yelled. But can you pass a football? The freshman hesitated for a minute and said, well, sir, I suppose if I can swallow it, I could pass it.
That's not where I thought that was going. Oh, that's horrible. That's what we call a lineman. Oh, man. All right. Well, thank you, bud. Hey, go ahead and give us our financial report, and we'll visit about a few things afterwards.
All right. This is Aaron Irving with LPL Financial, member of FINRA and the SIPC, bringing you your mid-morning stock market report for Tuesday, August the 26th. U.S. stocks are mixed this morning as Wall Street looks beyond President Trump's removal of Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook from the central bank's board and awaits quarterly figures from chip giant NVIDIA. The S&P 500, along with the Dow Jones Industrial Average, were trading just below the flat line, while the NASDAQ composite was 0.2% higher. Long-term Treasury yields rose after the Trump move, while short-term yields declined as investors steepened the yield curve on the notion that rates may go lower in the short term. The U.S. dollar index, which measures the greenback against a basket of major currencies, was last down 0.3%. Trump's move adds to the pressure the president has been putting on the central bank's independence. By law, a president may remove a Fed governor for cause. As a result, it's possible the matter will be challenged in the courts. There are currently 6 members on the Fed's board, with 1 seat vacant after the resignation of Adriana Kugler earlier this month. Removing Cook would leave 5 members, with non-Trump appointees still holding a majority. However, if Stephen Moran is cleared for the Kugler vacancy and the president is successful in removing Cook, it would give Trump a 4-3 majority. If Fed Chair Jerome Powell leaves his seat voluntarily after his term expires in May, it would give the president a 5th vote. Investors already appear hopeful about the prospect of lower interest rates coming in September, as hinted by Powell last week in Jackson Hole. They're additionally looking ahead to NVIDIA's earnings report tomorrow, which could bolster the mega-cap tech trade following its recent slide. The Magnificent Seven stocks rallied Friday, but only after 5 straight days of losses. Also weighing on sentiment, Trump said yesterday that he plans to impose substantial new tariffs as well as export restrictions on chips for countries that do not remove digital taxes. However, sentiment was kept in check by anticipation of NVIDIA's earnings results, scheduled for after the market closed tomorrow. Shares of the artificial intelligence darling were up about 1% today, extending their meaningful gains seen in the previous 2 sessions. Currently, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was 37 points lower at 45,245. The S&P 500 is flat at 6,439, and the NASDAQ Composite is 22 points higher at 21,471. West Texas Intermediate crude is down $1.23 a barrel to $63.57. Stocks of local interest. HF Sinclair is down 24 cents a share to $48.98. Walmart is 14 cents lower at $95.93 a share. Duke Energy is down 11 cents a share at $103 and a penny. And Apple is 31 cents lower at $226.85 a share. This is Aaron Irving with Oakley & Irving Wealth Management, serving business owners and energy industry professionals in the Pecos Valley and beyond. You can find us at oywealth.com or at our offices in Artesia and Carlsbad. You can call us at 575-887-7075. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA, and the SIPC.
All right. So seems like there's a little volatility. Things are maybe reacting to some stuff going on in the news.
Yeah, a little bit. It's not crazy or anything, but a little bit of volatility there.
Yeah, I'm curious to watch this whole show over removing this Fed governor and what that's going to cause. Me and you talked a few weeks ago. It was like, they played their hand. They didn't drop the rate because, and I think it was all in reaction to Trump calling, what's his name? Names.
Powell.
Yeah, Powell names. Too late, Powell. But hopefully this doesn't sink any future chance at some rate cuts, because they get all upset because he's going to try to remove this one governor.
Right. Yeah, that's the kind of worry there. But it's funny, on the news programs I'm listening to and things, there's people that are saying, well, it matters if she committed mortgage fraud before she was a Fed governor or while she was a Fed governor. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's moral imperative that the Fed governor be morally right while they're a Fed governor and before, because that's the signal of what they're going to do during. So
yeah, if you've been brought into a position of trust and someone goes back and finds that you're actually not a trustworthy person, that does matter.
Yeah,
I don't see how people can, in their minds, justify. Well, they did it before. We hired a new pastor. We found out he used to be a murderer, but no, it doesn't.
But that happened yesterday. He wasn't hired then.
Yeah,
so.
And there is such a thing as repentance, and there is something moving on. But for people sitting in these kind of financial positions of responsibility, if we find they're cheaters, I think there's, here's my question: Did they go back and make it right? This mortgage fraud that she committed, did she go back and admit it and correct it and all of that? Because if not,
right,
she's still benefiting from her lie and her fraud.
Right. Yeah. The Democrats think it's okay to do those things as long as you don't get caught. Like, I remember when Obama, I believe it was his first term, he appointed Tim Geithner as the Treasury Secretary, I believe.
Yeah.
He hadn't paid his taxes.
He was a tax cheat.
He's the guy over the IRS and he hasn't paid his taxes.
Well, it was like, was it Al Sharpton? And then there was another senator or something that were the same thing. They hadn't paid their taxes in forever, and here they up on stages lecturing all of us about the rich need to pay their fair share. These people,
right?
How do you take people like this seriously at this point?
It's crazy. They live in a different world than I've ever known. So
yeah, and Jeff and I were talking about it in the first hour. Is just like our governor activating the Guard to go do police actions in Albuquerque and now I think Espanola, but then as soon as Trump starts to activate the National Guard to do federal work on the border, no, that's wrong. He can't do that. That's illegal.
Right.
And they're not even having them down there doing, police actions. They're like going to do administrative stuff, transportation. They're like just logistics type people and administrative type people to our border patrol, so we can get more agents on the border to stop the flow of drugs.
Right.
But it's kind of mind-boggling. You watch this stuff as the way the market to me reacts. To me, the market almost seems like an insolent teenager half the time.
It can, yes.
It's like it doesn't seem like there's like I don't know, and I'm not in your industry, I know, but I go, it's so reactionary to every single little thing that happens. Now I know we can look at long term and we can see the stability across the market. We can see a consistent gain over, if we just broaden our picture and watch it climb, with dips and falls, but it's always climbing. But I go, just the volatility of it, and then the way the media can take and weaponize that volatility to sway public opinion blows my mind.
Yeah, I'm sure if you watch CNN, you probably think that the market's down like 20% from the time that Trump took office, but we're actually, near record highs and all of that.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I try to follow the best I can, but I mean, I know we're still up from the time he took
Friday
office.
We had a record high on the Dow. We were 2 points away from a record high on the S&P 500.
Yesterday?
That was on Friday.
On Friday. Yeah. So do you guys normally look at it in kind of like that 1 week chunks, or do you really kind of, because I was trying to follow day by day would just make my head explode.
I've got to pay attention to it day by day, but typically my investment, my models and things like that, they're based on what I think is going to happen over the next 12 months, 24 months.
Gotcha.
A major change. Then I'm looking at making some adjustments on the edges, but yeah, these daily things, you would drive yourself crazy and you'd lose a whole lot of money if you tried to do the daily.
The day traders and their AI models.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. All right, bud. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for the market report. And I'll see you Thursday.
All right, sounds good.
All right, take care, brother. God bless.
Stephen Johnson, and the gunman is believed to have fled in a car, which was later located by police. However, no suspect information or motive is known. Minute with the Mayor returns today in Artesia. Mayor John Henry will be available for questions about anything going on in Artesia. Stop by Kith and Ken from 8:30 to 9:30 this morning. Minute with the Mayor happens every second and fourth Tuesday of each month at 105 North 5th Street in Artesia. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
It's time for the Eddy County Sports Report. We got a good boys soccer match going on today. Artesia playing at Rossville starts at 6 o'clock. You might not know this, but Artesia has been piling up the goals over their last couple of matches. Thursday night last week defeated West Las Vegas 8-0. Senior Damian Lopez 2 goals and 2 assists. And then on Saturday, Artesia trounced Moriarty 9-0. Moses Corza, senior, with 3 goals, 2 assists. And Anton Wodars, 2 goals and 2 assists for the Bulldogs. Game time tonight in Rossville, 6 o'clock. Rossville is 2-0. Meanwhile, Carlsbad struggling out of the gate, losing a pair on the road this past weekend at Mayfield, 6-1 on Friday, and then falling to Centennial on Saturday, 5-1. Their next match this coming Friday, 10 a.m. tournament game against Gadsden. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at KSVP Radio AM 990.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
If you look at Zoran Mamdani, who's running for mayor of New York, Marxist Mamdani and his comrades, the Democratic Socialists of America, they want to wipe out the enforcement of all misdemeanor offenses in New York City. And what does he consider non-serious crimes? Third-degree assault? I mean, assault is assault. It means an innocent person is being attacked by somebody, and they want to end all misdemeanor charges. Now he wants it that they don't even charge these people for petty larceny or menacing and threatening. Forcible touching, sexual misconduct, second-degree sexual misconduct, second-degree sexual abuse, third-degree identity theft. Why would you fight for the rights of those people?
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey, if you're with Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, you are overpaying for wireless, period, end of sentence. You're paying for thousands of retail stores that you're never going to go to. You're paying for unnecessary perks that you'll never use. But guess what? My cell phone provider, Pure Talk, they use the same 5G network, the same cell towers. The only difference? They don't charge you for any of the garbage. Instead, Pure Talk will give you unlimited talk, unlimited text, plenty of data, $25 a month. That's real money in your pocket for the exact same service. And guess what? You can keep your phone and your phone number. The switch is simple, fast, easy. Dial pound 250, say the keyword save now. You'll save an additional 50% off your first month. and you can be switched over in mere minutes. Pound 250, keyword save now. Make the switch to my cell phone provider, a veteran-owned company, Pure Talk. Wireless by Americans for Americans.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. The monsoon is picking up a little bit, and we may start to see some showers and thunderstorms coming back on Wednesday, but for now we'll stay sunny. Afternoon highs 90 to 95. Overnight, just a slim chance of a shower. We're in the upper 60s, and then sunny most of Wednesday. We can't rule out an afternoon thunderstorm, though. Our high should be in the low 90s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Welcome back, Artesia. Hey, we got a few minutes. We're going to close out the show. Jeff's going to come in here and join us here in a few minutes, and we'll visit. Hey, I just kind of think about the overall show today is, where I started in Matthew 22. Christ says that the two greatest commandments, love God and love people. And I think one of the most unloving things anyone can do is to allow someone else to walk in obvious and blatant untruth, I guess. Distruth's not a word. Untruth, and not ever provide correction in that. If we allow other people to walk around in chaos and lies, I mean, would you agree with me, Jeff, that that's probably one of the most unloving things you can actually do for a person? Yes.
I mean,
okay, that was helpful. Thanks,
yes.
Jeff. Bye.
Now, I mean, truthfulness, it goes hand in hand with respect.
Yeah.
And if someone is not honest with you, then they do not respect you.
Hey, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Lying is not only sinful and cruel and injurious to people, but it definitely is a sign that they have no respect for you whatsoever. And to allow someone to believe with absolute certainty something you know to be absolutely untrue. Girls can be boys, boys can be girls.
Right.
How unloving of a nation are we to prop up a false ideology such as that?
Yeah, it's just. I'm trying to think of word usage that's radio safe.
It's unkindness.
And you're promoting delusions.
Mm-hmm.
It's delusional and mental illness.
Yeah.
To believe, to fall into your own lies.
Yeah.
And then be reinforced by other people's lies. Just going along of let's not offend this person because they live in make-believe land.
Well, we've couched love as being non-offensive.
Yeah.
Nowhere in Scripture does it say love is non-offensive.
Right.
It says it's not brash, it's not harmful, it's not unkind. Love is kind, love is patient, love is not brash, all of those things. But it doesn't say that it's not offensive.
Right.
The truth is always offensive to those who don't believe it.
Right.
That's a plain and simple truth. Is if you believe A, and it's false, and B is true, and I tell you B, you're going to take offense. And that can be on big things like what we're talking about, transgenderism, homosexuality, all those things. Yes, you can take offense to those because you believe them to be true, and I'm telling you they're not. But at the same time, it can be little things as well. We all have differences of areas of things we believe, and when we're presented with another truth, and I'll tell you, that's a phenomenon I've watched in my own life, and I think is what we're seeing across the country right now, is people are starting to see that the narratives we were fed for decades on end that we thought to be absolute, bottom line truth. You can't question this thing. And people are going back now, and they're going, well, I went back to the early 1900s, and I read the original documents and of this incident, and that's not what it says. So why are we being told this?
Correct.
The formation of the Fed, moving away from the gold standard, all these things. The Civil Rights Act. The more I'm seeing uncovered about what was behind Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Act, I go, no, absolutely. We should be a country that gives equal and free rights across to everybody. But that's not what the Civil Rights Act was about.
Yeah.
It was communist infiltration into an entire culture, into an entire group of people. And I'm like, so not only did we allow them to be in it, we sold them a lie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how unloving of a government do we have? How unloving is the MLG right. in the fact that she sells lies to people in order to remain in power? It's mind-boggling to me.
It's like they're changing the American dream. Everyone wanted to come to America, pursuit of life, liberty, happiness. They obtain your dreams. But now it's like the American dream is come to our country and we'll take care of you. We'll put you on the new plantations.
Hey, that is beyond. There's so much truth in that. I don't think people see that modern day unfettered immigration is nothing more than self-imposing slavery. Let's import an entire people group into this country to do all the jobs we think we're above, and get them to do it for less money or no. In instances, what would be considered no money by most of us.
Yeah.
Like, how is that not the same thing?
Well, it's an indentured servitude.
It is,
especially with illegal immigrants that were trafficked here.
Yeah.
It's
the numbers have been staggering.
Yeah.
Of what the FBI is now uncovering, now that they've been let loose, let off the leash, and they're digging into it. The amount of kids they're pulling out of sex trafficking, and basically, for example, the big marijuana farm bust they had in California, and the number of kids they had working there. It's basically modern day slavery, and it's ridiculous. But yet, and then you get the people on the other side of the aisle going, well, "Look at you! You're just a bunch of racists." No, I don't think that's the case. We're trying to set these people free from this captivity. Essentially, is what we've got them in.
Yeah,
and it's ridiculous.
Well, and it's like in the last election, the number of African American males that were so outspoken on social media for Trump, and they're trying to change the lie that was all over legacy media that they're always Democrat.
Yeah.
And if they're like, what's his name said, if you're not voting Democrat, you're not really black.
Yeah.
What?
That was President Biden.
Yeah, Biden. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just how, and going back earlier when we were talking about the truth and arguing with or discussing things.
Yeah.
One of the other great things about traveling the world is seeing other points of view.
Yeah.
You and I have completely different world views because we grew up differently.
Yeah.
Every person has a different world view. And so when discussing certain things, realizing, okay, let me take a step back, look at the situation from this person's point of view, and how can I explain this from my point of view to associate with his point of view and show his or her and show where the disagreement is. And oftentimes, then there's that melding of worldviews and understanding what is the truth and what is not.
Yeah, absolutely.
On both sides.
Well, and I think that there's truth in that, but at the same time we have to look you and I have completely different upbringings. We look at the world in different ways, but the truth of it is we actually share a worldview because we share a Christian worldview. We ultimately measure all truth upon the lens of what God has said about the truth of His world, and so like I said, it's unloving to. You look at the world one way, I look at the world. But if there's anywhere we have a conflict where we come to the point of like, well, I see it this way and you see it this way, we have to ask ourselves, okay, well, what is the mediating force that determines which one of us is right? Well, that's simple. As Christians, it's easy for us. We're going to go to Scripture together, and we're going to go, well, yeah, you're wrong, or I guess I'm wrong on that, Yeah. And that takes a lot of burden off of us, and it's the most loving thing we can do. But it's not loving to hold to these two contrary views on an issue, especially when one of them can lead to destruction and death and pain and misery and all of those things. And say, well, but that's how they see the world. The truth of it is we have to look and we have to help people to adjust their worldview. And the greatest thing we can do that is to point them to true places where they can find absolute truth and go, okay, we can agree on this. What is the absolute truth here?
Yeah. See, that was the worldview part of the biggest place where that has helped me is working on the pro-life screenplay.
Yeah.
It was started when I was 21, and it's, even though it's evolved over, it's still the same. It's still pro-life, but it has added depth from me seeing and understanding other cultures' viewpoints on love, children, marriage, and not just around the world, but that's inner city Dallas, inner city Houston, to Somali neighborhoods in Ethiopia. All of them have a different worldview, and looking at those and being able to learn and understand, it's finding that worldview. Now, how do we point that worldview to the truth?
Yeah.
How do we get that?
Yeah, and the truth, of course, in this instance, talking about this one specific topic, is what does God say about life, right? And that's where we land. So. Yeah. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for coming in and helping me finish out the show. Artesia, have a wonderful week. Love God, love your neighbor, and we'll talk to you on Thursday.
Artesia, get ready. The Protect Prosperity Defend Taxpayers statewide tour is coming to town. Join us Tuesday, August 26th, 5:30 p.m. at Spark by Hilton in Artesia. Hear from special guest speakers Jim Townsend, Rod Montoya, and Jonathan Henry as they share their vision to protect prosperity and stand up for taxpayers. And don't miss out, a special giveaway awaits one lucky early bird registrant. Tuesday, August 26th, 5:30 p.m. at Spark by Hilton in Artesia. Presented by AFP New Mexico and the Libre Initiative.
Hey Roswell, trade up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for less during the final days of the summer clearance event at Roswell Ford. Right now, save big with clearance prices on new Fords with 0% APR and make no payments for 90 days. Your friends at Roswell Ford make upgrading to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for less super fun, super fast, and super easy. If you're making payments on your current vehicle and want out early, Roswell Ford will do whatever it takes to free you from your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders that will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. Get huge American-made savings, more for your trade, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, because we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance. Interest accrues from date of sale, subject to lender approval on select vehicles. Offers not combined.
The City of Artesia is proud to announce that we've renewed our agreement with Trans-Aero Medevac. This means that Eddy County residents are automatically enrolled in Trans-Aero's free air ambulance membership program, ensuring there are no out-of-pocket costs that need to be paid if you're flown to a hospital by Trans-Aero. Remember, this benefit only applies to Trans-Aero Medevac. To receive this benefit, ask for Trans-Aero specifically in a medical emergency. For situations where you cannot speak, make sure you have your Trans-Aero membership card alongside either your ID or health insurance card. This will act as a request for Trans-Aero Medevac. You can print out the membership card on the City of Artesia's website. In life's most critical moments, Trans-Aero, the City of Artesia, and our partners stand ready to help when you need it most. If you're an Eddy County resident, take advantage of this free benefit and make sure you fly with Trans-Aero Medevac.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you.